Wow. Good afternoon to you all, especially those who are catching us live now. Reka twizere ko meze neza tubahaye ikaze muri gahunda idasanzwe idutanyije ahangaha yo gusoza shampiyona y'isi y'amagare yaba iri kuba kuva tariki 21 ni ku cyumweru gishize kugeza kuri uyu munsi tariki 28 Nzeri 2025 tubahaye ikaze muri gahunda idasanzwe igiye kunyura kuri Shine Up TV ndetse na PACIS TV muri rusange kugira ngo turebere hamwe bimwe mu bihe by'ingenzi byaranze shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Ni shampiyona y'isi y'amagare kubiranga mu mujyi wa Kigali mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda, na amateka adasanzwe ku gihugu cy'u Rwanda kuko no bwa mbere shampiyona y'isi yibereye ku mugabane wa Afrika by'umwihariko mu gihugu cy'imisozi igihumbi. Tugiye kubana namwe rero kuri Shine Up TV ndetse na PACIS TV kugira ngo tuganire turebere hamwe ibyinshi byaranze iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Gusa turi kumwe namwe live kugira ngo tunarebe ninde uza kwegukana main load race cyangwa se umunsi wa nyuma, igice cya nyuma, aho harimo harasiganwa mu bagabo. Turebera hamwe ninde uza kwitwara neza muri uyu muhanda ugoye cyane, umuhanda urimo imbaraga zidasanzwe. Ku bagabo babiri bari guhabwa amahirwe harimo umunya-Slovania ndetse n'umukinnyi ukomoka mu gihugu cy'Ubirigi. Abo ni abandi ni Tadej Pogačar ndetse n'umukinnyi nakita ko ari nimero ya mbere kugeza ubu ngubu muri shampiyona y'isi y'amagare kuko niwe wegukanye agace ka individual time trial. Uwo na wundi rero turaza kumugana ngira ngo benshi muramuzi ni Remco Evenepoel. Turaza kumuganiraho ubu tuvugana harabura iminota mike, harabura amasaha make kugira ngo turebe ninde ugiye kwegukana shampiyona y'isi y'amagare mu gusiganwa ku muhanda mu bagabo. Bahaye ikaze ni kuri Shine Up TV, bahaye ikaze ni kuri PACIS TV. Amazina yanjye nitwa Tuyisenge Didia. Reka tuganire cyane kuri shampiyona, ariko nizera ko nabahaye ikaze. Turaza kuganira namwe binyuze ku murongo wa telefone tuza kushyiraho kugira ngo twumve uburyo bumeze. Dufite abakoresponda cyangwa se bagenzi bacu bari hirya no hino ku mihanda itandukanye, nabo turaza kuganira nabo twumve icyo barimo baratubwira aho bari. Dufite abari Norvège, dufite abari Nyabugogo, dufite n'abari kuri finishing line cyangwa se kuri Kigali Convention Center kugira ngo batuganirize ese ambiance cyangwa se umwuka umeze gute aho bari hirya no hino. Ikaze nitwa Tuyisenge Didia. Ikiganiro cyo ni kidasanzwe kuko turi mu bihe bidasanzwe anga mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda birumvikana muri rusange. Ikaze rero reka tubane namwe kugira ngo twumve byinshi bigezweho muri shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Kuva mu 1900 hari tariki 14 z'ukwezi kwa kane nibwo haje igitekerezo cyo gushinga impuzamashyirahamwe y'umukino w'amagare ku isi. Kugeza ubu ngubu ibihugu 205 nibyo biri muri iyi mpuzamashyirahamwe y'umukino w'amagare ku isi izwi nka UCI. Abenshi bari kuvuga bati iyi shampiyona yitwa UCI, ariko UCI ni itegura shampiyona y'isi y'amagare birumvikana. Harimo n'andi mashampiyona UCI itegura, ariko kuva icyo gihe nibwo ibyo bihugu byatangiye kwinjira muri iyi mpuzamashyirahamwe y'umukino w'amagare ku isi. Mu Rwanda murabizi ko ishyirahamwe ry'umukino w'amagare ku isi mu Rwanda ari Ferwacy. Rero Ferwacy nayo ni umunyamuryango wa UCI. Uyu munsi byo turimo turishimira nuko Ferwacy yagerageje gutera intambwe igatanga kandidatire ku buryo mu myaka hafi 5 ishize ariko twakiriye inkuru nziza ivuga ko igihugu cy'u Rwanda kigomba kwakira iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Bibi inkuru nziza ku banyarwanda, bibi inkuru nziza ku bakunzi b'umukino w'amagare cyane muri Afrika kuko aya ni amateka adasanzwe. Ari nabyo mpamvu uyu munsi umukuru w'igihugu nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika y'u Rwanda Paul Kagame yashimiye cyane David Lamptey, akaba ari we umuyobozi cyangwa se ari we perezida wa UCI kuba yarafashe initiative yo gufata irushanwa akaryinjiza mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda by'umwihariko ku mugabane wa Afrika. Ni ishema ridasanzwe. Uyu munsi rero tugiye kuganira turebere hamwe ibice byose byabaye kuva ku munsi wo ku cyumweru, byagenze gute, byatwawe n'abandi. Ese uyu munsi ninde uri guhabwa amahirwe yo kwegukana iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare ku bagabo men elite road race? Akaba ari igice kigoye cyane mu bice byose byakinwe birumvikana. Nitwa Tuyisenge Didia. Of course mu kiganiro ngiye guha ikaze mugenzi wanjye Irabizi Emmanuel aka Nova. Ikaze muri gahunda idasanzwe, ikaze muri shampiyona y'isi y'amagare iri kugana ku musozo. Kagira igare,
gira nawe igare.
Urakoze cyane.
Umeze neza?
Yego meze neza.
Ni shampiyona y'isi y'amagare rwose yaberaga hano muri Afrika ari n'ubwa mbere, noneho by'umwihariko iza hano i Kigali. Ni ibirori, ni ku banyarwanda abonye ko hari abo twagiye tuganira bamwe bakanatubwira ko kuryama byahagaze ku munsi wo ku cyumweru kugira ngo baze kuba bagira gute, baze kuba bihera ijisho iri gare, baze kuba bihera ijisho aba champion bajyaga babona ku mateleviziyo. Mu by'ukuri urabona ko dore kwenda no kuba dufite imihanda myiza, tuzi no kwakira amarushanwa cyangwa tuzi no kwakira n'inama zikomeye mu muco wacu, tuzi kwakira abashyitsi. Ariko urabona ko no ku banyarwanda igare rimaze kuba ubuzima, igare rimaze kuba buri kimwe. Hari uwo twaganira ambwira ngo nta gare nta buzima.
Yego.
Ubwo rero igare rwose ku banyarwanda noneho bari no kwishimira cyane kuba bakira iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare n'ibindi bindi.
Yes, Nova ngira ngo uri tayari kandi natwe turiteguye kugira ngo no tuganire kuri shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Turi ku munsi wa nyuma aho abagabo cyangwa se main elite barimo barasiganwa mu muhanda kugira ngo turebe ngo ninde uza kwegukana shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Ni umunsi watangiye kuva ku isaha y'3:45 akaba ariho abasiganwa bagurutse kuri Kigali Convention Center batangira kubara ibihe barenze hano ku nyubako ya RDB bamanuka Nyarutarama. Nibwo batangiye irisiganwa muri rusange, hari barimo barishyushya ndetse no kwishyira ku murongo. Batangira kubara baherera kuri ku nyubako ya RDB n'ubundi ujyana Nyarutarama hafi n'ikiciro gikuru cya MTN. Hahagurutse abakinnyi 165, ubundi hakagombye guhaguruka abakinnyi 166, ariko harimo umuhorandi umwe utahagurutse bitewe n'ikibazo cy'uburwayi. Ariko hahagurutse abakinnyi 165, muri abo ngabo abakinnyi 165 57 na abakinnyi baturuka mu bihugu bitandukanye. No kuvuga ngo nubwo ari 165 baturuka mu bihugu 57, bakaba barimo barasiganwa ku ntera ya kilometero 265 na metero 500. Bakarimo barazenguruka imihanda itandukanye mu mujyi wa Kigali. Bakoze etape nyinshi bazenguruka umuhanda KCC, bakamanuka Gishushu, banyuze kuri RDB n'ubundi
Nyarutarama
bakazenguruka, yego, bakazamuka hano n'ubundi kuri Minagri, bakazamuka bakinjira Kacyiru, birumvikana bakajya kuzenguruka imbere bagiye kugera kuri Kigali Convention Center, bakahita bamanuka binjira Kimihurura, bakamanuka no ku cyiciro gikuru cya RIB, bakamanuka bajya kugera hari aho twita kwa Rasta, bakahita bazamuka kuri Medihiri n'ubundi uriya muhanda w'amabuye, bakanyura kwa Minyoni n'undi ari urusengero.
Uriya muhanda wo kwa Minyoni numvisha
amapave, bakagera ruguru ku matara cyangwa se hafi n'akabindi, bakongera bagacurika bakazamuka bakazenguruka. Etape zaho zarangiye. Ubu tuvugana binjije mu muhanda urumwe mu mihanda igoye cyane, aho baza guhura n'udusozi tukomeye cyangwa se turi hejuru cyane, dufite ubuhaname buri hejuru. Akambere n'aka Norvege bamaze gusoza. Ubu tuvugana bagiye kuzamuka, baraza kuzamuka n'ubundi baca kuri kwa Mutwe, naho harimo agasozi kagoye cyane,
hari za Nyamirambo,
yego, n'ahandi hantu naho haza kubagora cyane. Mbere ko twinjira kuri shampiyona y'uyu munsi tuza no kurana ngo ninde uza kwitwara neza, Nova, ndagira ngo unganize nibihe bihe by'ingenzi wabonye muri iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare kuva yatangira ku munsi wayo wa mbere ku itariki 21 ngo ni ku cyumweru kugeza kuri uyu munsi. Nibihe bintu bidasanzwe wabonye muri shampiyona y'isi y'amagare?
Bimwe mu bihe bidasanzwe nabonye muri iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare, icyambere ni imihanda myiza cyane, ikindi nadekoye neza cyane, ubwo nicyo ni kimwe. Ariko ikindi ni abana batonya twagiye tubona mu by'ukuri baje hano mu Rwanda. Urabizi ko tujye wenda nko mu bakobwa, ubwo ku batarengeje imyaka 23 nibwo bari bagiyemo, nibwo rwose navuga ngo iki cyiciro nibwo cyari kigiyemo ubwo mu bakobwa. Ubwo rero nabyo biri mu bidasanzwe nabonye. Noneho mu by'ukuri byaranatangiye binagenda neza cyane. Ikindi gikomeye cyane nta kirengagiza nandi kubivuga ko mu by'ukuri uriya muhanda ari amapave yo kwa Minyoni yamaze kuba hindurirwa izina. Ubaka kanya ushobora kubaza umuntu ati kuri wa muhanda w'amapave ujya kwa Minyoni, yakubwira ati uwo muhanda ntawo nzi, deja wamaze kuba uhindurirwa izina, bijyanye nuko n'ubundi urabizi iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare igitangira hano i Kigali. Urabizi ko basiganwe umuntu ku giti cye witwara Mako, uramubona cyane, arangije afata uwitwa Tadepo Gaca amwanikira rwose muri uriya muhanda, birangira uriya muhanda yise witirwa witwa Tadepo Gaca. Ubwo rero nabyo ku muntu wese wakurikiranye ino shampiyona y'isi y'amagare navuga ko ari ibihe bidasanzwe cyangwa ari ibintu byamushimishije, ari ku bantu bakunda igare, ari bimwe mu bihe batazibagirwa cyari no ku isi hose. Navuga ko buri muntu wese warebye kuri kuzamuka kwa bari abavandimwe, gusigwa kwa Tadepo Gaca nk'umwe mu bantu bari baje bizewe cyangwa bari baje bafitiwe icyizere bavuga ko bazatwara iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare, bikarangira banikiriwe kuriya. Buri muntu wese wakurikiranye no shampiyona y'isi y'amagare gwe ritangira, ndakeka irashusho n'ubu ntiramuvamo. Ubwo rero ibyo ni bimwe mu bihe numva rwose nubaka kanya iyo ndyamye ndota muri iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Ubwo yo rwose ku kijyanye n'igare, kuko nabikubwiye ku banyarwanda igare rimaze kuba ubuzima. Igare ku muntu ari wese wabayeho mu cyaro arabizi ko igare ni ubuzima.
Yes, igare n'ubuzima. Kwikubitiro ku munsi wa mbere wa shampiyona y'isi y'amagare, umubirigi mu gace cyangwa se mu cyiciro cya elite main time trial cyangwa se cy'abagabo mu gusiganwa n'ibihe, umubirigi baramwibuka Remorque Evan Powell ubwo yasigaga n'ubundi mugenzi we Tadej Pogacar, amusigiye kuri amapave cyangwa se kuri wa muhanda uzamuka n'ubundi uva Medihir usoreza n'ubundi hafi n'akabindi, niwe musigiye yegukana umudari wa zahabu mu gusiganwa n'igihe individual time trial kuba main elite cyangwa se ku bagabo. Icyo gihe kandi n'ubundi umugore witwaye neza, umugore ukomoka mu gihugu cy'Ubusuwisi yitwa Marine Rosa w'imyaka 28, umunsi ukurikiyeho mu batangije imyaka 23 mu bagore muri individual time trial cyangwa se gusiganwa n'igihe Contre-la-Montre, umukinnyi ukomoka mu gihugu cya Great Britain niwe wegukanye aka gace. Uwitwa Zoe Braxted niwe wegukanye aka gace. Naho mu bagabo cyangwa se mu basore batarengeje imyaka 23, umukinnyi ukomoka mu gihugu cya Sweden niwe witwa Jacob niwe waje kwigukana irushanwa. Naho uwitwa Megan Aronesi mu batarengeje imyaka 19 mu bagore niwe witwaye neza akomoka mu gihugu cy'Ubuholandi. Hanyuma mu basore mu bagerageje kwitwara neza mu batangije imyaka 19 yitwa Michael Morrissey niwe witwaye neza. Mu bijyanye rero na mixed team relay cyangwa se muri kwa kundi amakipe abafatanyije mu buryo bwa individual time trial, abanya-Australia nibo bitwaye neza barimo Michel Matthews, Lucas Papre, harimo Jevin nawe uri gukomeza kwitwara neza kuri iyi munsi, nabonye ari mu bakina ari guhabwa n'amahirwe. Mu bandi kandi barimo b'abagore harimo uwitwa Amanda Spiter, Felicity Wilson na bagenzi be nibo bitwaye neza mu gusiganwa n'ibihe cyangwa se amakipe yahuje agasiganwa n'ibihe muri rusange. Hanyuma muri junior women road race cyangwa se abakinyi batangije imyaka 19 bari gusiganwa n'ingimbi bari gusiganwa mu bakobwa, uwitwa Paula Otis niwe witwaye neza yegukana umudari wa zahabu. Naho muri under 23 cyangwa se mutangije imyaka 23 mu bakobwa muri road race cyangwa se mu gusiganwa ku muhanda, umukinnyi witwa Yagenze wo mu France niwe witwaye neza ku munsi w'ejo, ngira ngo turakurikirana. Hanyuma kandi junior men road race cyangwa se mu batarengeje imyaka 19 mu bagabo, uwo witwaye neza yitwa Harry Hudson akaba akomoka mu gihugu cya Great Britain. Naho witwa Magdalene Veris witwaye neza ku munsi w'ejo mu Canada mu batarengeje imyaka 10 mu bagore barengeje imyaka batangije imyaka 23 niwe witwaye neza 19 sorry raza kumva bari mu bagore bafite imyaka cyangwa se elite cyangwa se mu cyiciro cy'abagore bari ku rwego rwo hejuru mu bitwaye neza ni Magdalene ku munsi w'ejo mu Canada wanaciye
utaranahabwaga n'amahirwe mu by'ukuri.
Urebye ko shampiyona ari imeze n'abahabwaga amahirwe wonaga ko uyu Magdalene atari guhabwa.
Mu by'ukuri wabonye ko nka rape zose zagiye zikorwa, wabonaga ari mu ba 19 20 nta muntu uri wabonye ko n'uburyo yatatse, wabonye ko yatatse rwose muri bari aba senior cyangwa muri bari aba champions nta numwe wigeze umuhereza wigeze umuhanga amaso cyane, yabaciyemo cyangwa yabacitse rwose kuko nta numwe wari uzi ko yabataka bigeze hariya akaba yabatwara iyi etape.
Yes, ngayo nguko rero ndagira ngo none mubaze ku musaruro w'abanyarwanda muri rusange. Butuvugana Nkundabera Eric amaze kuva mu irushanwa cyangwa amaze kuva muri race bitewe n'imbaraga. Abanyarwanda babonye gute haba mu byiciro bitandukanye,
get distanced on the monks
23 ndetse no muri elite, haba mu bakobwa n'abahungu wabibonye gute abanyarwanda batanze uyu musaruro?
Ego bigitangira
umusaruro ni mwiza cyangwa nta kintu kirimo?
Urabona ko ndabisobanura muri ubu buryo. Bigitangira urabibonye ko twagize imyanya myiza, ubwo ndavuga ku munsi wa mbere kuri etape ya mbere wabonye ko twari dufite umunyarwanda ubwo mu bahungu yari yabaye wa 27, byari wa 25, byari ibintu byiza cyane. Mu bakobwa wari hafi yari yabaye wa 27. Mu by'ukuri ibyo si ibintu bibi, ariko mu nyuma twagezeho tukajya tuvuga tibyibuza nitugira nishaba araza gusoza araza gusoza etape. Niko bimeze kuko nitura nk'ubatarengeje nitura nko ku munsi w'ejo gusoza byari bigoranye. Twagezeho hari igihe twagezeho tukajya tuvuga ngo Imana idufashe umunyarwanda abashe gusozanya n'abandi. Ubwo rero ikintu kiba gihari Edidia, ntabwo twahita tuvuga ngo ni bibi, kuko mu by'ukuri iyi shampiyona y'isi ibiri ku rundi rwego haba hajemo aba champions. Niba witwa Tade Pogacar ari gusigwa bigeze hariya, mu by'ukuri twari tumuzi nka champion w'isi, twari tumuzi nk'abanyarwanda twese twari turi kuvuga ngo niwe dutegereje. Ubwo rero icyo bishatse kuvuga iyi shampiyona y'isi ibiri ku rundi rwego, ntabwo navuga ngo ni abanyarwanda igare ritari ku rwego rwiza gutya na gutya, kuko nitureba nko mu bihugu by'ibituranyi byagiye byitabira, nitujya nko ku Bagande bari kuvamo rugikubita, nitujya nko ku Banyakenya ku munsi w'ejo aho narindi rwose bagize gutya bose mbona baviremo icyarimwe. Ubwo rero ku kintu gya Didia ni iyi shampiyona y'isi iri ku rundi rwego, ariko nanatanga ubutumwa Ferwacy bongeramo akabaraga. Niba babona tugeze ku rwego rwo kwakira irushanwa ry'isi, bivuze ko natwe tugomba ko nk'abanyarwanda ubwo abatwazi b'amagare bagomba kuba bakongeramo akabaraga cyane. Ko ikindi kinakomeye cyane, biragaragara ko abanyarwanda igare turarikunda, igare turarishyigikira. Ikindi gikomeye cyane mu by'ukuri, igare hano mu Rwanda ubusanga usanga nko mu cyaro, tureke no mu cyaro, na mu mujyi usanga hari abajene benshi igare aba rifite, ari iryo akoreraho siporo, ariwo mukino akina, ari ryo rimufasha kuruhuka. Ubwo rero ku banyarwanda natwe igare rimaze kuba ubuzima. Hari nk'uduce usanga rwose nta rugo rudafite igare. Ubwo rero Ferwacy bongeramo akabaraga kugira ngo niba babona turi kugenda twakira amarushanwa nk'aya ngaya ajya asanga tumeze neza, aho kugira ngo bibe ibyo kwitabira gusa.
Yego, kugeza ubu ngubu rero abakinnyi babiri nibo bayoboye iri siganwa, nibo bari imbere y'abandi amasegonda agera kuri 58. Harimo abakinnyi babiri bayoboye, ni umunya-Mexique witwa Del Toro, akaba ari kumwe na mugenzi we ukomoka mu gihugu cya Slovania. Uwo na wundi ni Pogi cyangwa se Tadej Pogacar. Barimo barasiga bagenzi babo amasegonda 58. Ni babiri bari imbere. No kureba ese aya masegonda 58 hasigaye etape ebyiri, birashoboka ko Pogi na mugenzi we Toro bashobora kuza kuyakipinga ku buryo iyi peloto iba ari inyuma iyobowe n'uyu mukinnyi nawe uri guhabwa amahirwe Remorque Evenepoel. Bari kumwe n'ubundi ari batatu, ariko Remorque baza kumusiga bari kuzamuka kwa mutwe. Birashoboka ko aya masegonda 58 baza kuyakavaringa Pogi na mugenzi we Toro, kuko Toro nawe ari mu bakinnyi beza mu guhangana, kuko arimo agerageza gukorera abanya-Mexique bagenzi be kugira ngo barebe ko yaza kuba ari kumwe na guca imbaraga. Ubundi ari hariya Toro kugira ngo ace imbaraga Tadej Pogacar kugira ngo ataza kugenda, kuko Tadej umuhaye umwanya aravansa akagenda. Kugira ngo rero aze kumuca imbaraga birasaba ko aza kumukomeza kumugenda imbere, nk'uko turi kwibona amugenda imbere amuca imbaraga. Kumugenda imbere no kugira ngo aze guha amahirwe bagenzi bari kumwe kugira ngo baze kuzamuka bakuremo aya masegonda 58 asigayemo. Ariko nguri kwibona ahangaha n'ubundi bari kuzamuka, bamwe mu bakinnyi ahangaha ni kwa mutwe bari kuzamuka. Abakinnyi benshi basigaye haza kujya amasegonda 36, naho Tadej yese afatiraho na mugenzi we Toro baza gusiga inyuma umukinnyi w'umubirigi uri guhabwa amahirwe Evenepoel. Ubwo rero nuko gahunda imeze muri rusange.
Ikintu gihari
kuri Tadej biraza gushoboka. Ubu tuvugana barimo barakata imihanda, bagiye kuzamuka n'ubundi hafi bagiye kugera ahangaha kuri golfe babone kuzamuka umuhanda wa ndabona abamwe mu bakinnyi ba Slovania batangiye kugenda bavamo uwitwa Domain Novak nawe ayisaba mu irushanwa
birangiye ananiwe kuri soza
ni n'ikipe yatangiranye abakinnyi benshi kuko yatangiranye abakinnyi
9 bose
yego hasigaye elap ebyiri biza kurangira bundi hasigayemo nka 5 ubu tuvugana muri elap ebyiri zisigaye Nova ni ukuvuga ngo isaha n'isaha nubwo hatangiye abakinnyi 65 birashoboka ko tuza gusoza abakinnyi batarenze 50 bitewe n'aka gasozi kuko aka gasozi ubwako gakuyemo hafi abakinnyi bagera kuri 5
nibyo
kuri ya mbere
nibyo ikintu kiba gihari kwitwa Tadej Pogacar ku bantu bamuzi ndetse na cyane Edidi iyo umuhaye umwanya gatonya muri ibi birometero bigeze kuri 80 ndabona hasigaye 80 na bingahe agira gutya na kamera akaba yazisiga
yego
icyo kintu we urwego agezeho n'urwo kuba yagira gutya agakora amateka akavuga ngo nakoze amateka yo gufata kamera ndazisiga ziriya kamera ziba zibari inyuma ndetse na ziriya moto ubwo rero ku kintu gihari nubwo ubona nyine ari kwatakwa cyane nubwo ubona imbere ye hari umutwazi wundi w'igare Edidi ku kintu gihari kinakomeye cyane naza kubona umwanya mutonya muri ibi birometero bisigaye bigeze muri kuri 80
yego
icyo nzi cyo na kamera araza kuzicika kuko bisubwambira bikora sinubwa kabiri ugasanga rwose na kamera zicitse bakaza kwisanga bamufashe ageze kuri wa murongo wasoriza ubwo rero ku kintu gihari haracyari kare nanone ariko ku kilometero 80 ubundi ubwashize shampiyona y'isi iherutse gutwara yagize gutya rwose mu kilometero 50 yiyaka bagenzi be igikundi yari arimo
uwo rero ureba ni Toro ndetse na mugenzi we Pogi bari imbere y'abandi ho amasegonda 52 yatangiye kugenda agabanukamo gake
none se
ariko n'ubundi biraza gusaba ko ategereza cyangwa se haza kubaho Pogi ndetse na Toro muri sprint ntago nkeza ko bataza kuba beza cyane ahubwo baza kuba beza bageze mu gihe cyo gukora ama breakaway cyangwa se ahazamuka ariko bishoboka ko baza kuba bakuramo iminota ubu tuvugana binjiye ku muhanda wa golf mbere ko bazamuka kuri Minagri kuzamuka kuri Minagri biraza kubafasha cyane kubera ko harimo agaterera kari hejuru ya 20 hafi na 20 kaza gutuma aya masegonda bayongeramo mu gihe peloton itabimira koresha imbaraga zabo zose zishoboka kugeza ubu ngubu rero Pogi niwe uri kuyobora noneho aisegeye imbere ya Toro umukinnyi ukomoka mu gihugu cya Mexique nawe uri mu beza bari muri shampiyona y'isi bari guhabwa n'amahirwe Tadej rero ntekereza ko nkuko yabikoze mu myaka ishize ashobora kuza kongera kubikora kwegukana shampiyona y'isi mbibutsa ko Pogi kandi ari nawe champion wa ni champion w'isi ariko na Tour de France niwe yifite mu biganza ntekereza ko rero iyi ngiyi ari motivation ni nabyo yitezweho cyane kuko individual time trial burya ntabwo ari mwiza cyane kuko n'umwaka ushize kuri individual time trial n'ubundi Evan Powe niwe waje kuyegukana ntekereza rero ko ubu ngubu noneho aho tusanzwe tumuzeho tumenyereye ari wagomba kuza kwigaragariza buri mukinnyi n'akaryoke no kuvuga ngo witwa Evan Powe yigaragaje umwaka ushize muri shampiyona y'isi yegukana individual time trial cyangwa se gusiganwa n'ibihe yongera abisubiramo muri uyu mwaka anga mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda ese birashoboka ko noneho yakongera kuza kwegukana iyi shampiyona nk'uko byagenze mu mwaka ushize kuri Tadej Pogacar birashoboka cyane kugeza ubu rero ichess iri gukorwa n'abakinnyi barimo Honore na bagenzi be bakomoka mu gihugu cy'Ubutaliyani barimo na ba Max Nad nekereza ko imibare igomba kuza kuba myinshi cyane ku bihugu ndavuga ku makipe y'ibihugu birumvikana kuko kugeza ubu ngubu tugiye kubona muri erapi ibanziriza ya nyuma tugiye kubona intambara hagati
no gukubana cyane
ya Slovania tukabona hagati Ubufaransa dominance yabo urabona ko iri hejuru cyane kuko Abafaransa bari kuvuga bati ntabwo twemera kuza kujya inyuma ya peloton ahubwo twe turajya imbere yaho tukomeze tuyisunikiremo hariya Abafaransa naho ngo babira babi cyane ikindi nuko
n'umubirigi nawe
n'ababirigi nabo baraho hafi ugerageza kureba abayoboye peloton hani igice cy'imbere cya peloton urabona ko ari ababirigi nabo barimo baragerageza gusunikamo cyane nekereza rero ko imibare igiye kuza kuba myinshi muri aka gace kabanziriza kanyuma cyangwa se muri erape nekereza ko uyu ni Jayvan nakubwiraga Jayvan wari muri bagenzi be begukanye n'umunya Australia wari muri bagenzi be begukanye agace kamakipe y'ibihugu mu buryo bwa individual time trial cyangwa se
gusiganwa n'ibihe
individual time trial urabona ko babiri bamaze kwataka bari imbere ya peloton bivuze ko noneho imibare igiye gutangira gukora ahangaha navuga ngo agace kabatabashije kavuyeho tugeze mu gace k'abantu babashije
kubera bindi byo kwihisha mu ntuze mu kivunge muri bagenzi bawe
ngenda kubwiraga urabona ko ahantu haterera ariho pogi na toro babasha kugerageza kwitwara neza ariko kuko ari babiri baraza gusunikwa cyane na pero turi inyuma kuko ahazamuka nidusunike bagabo mu ndirimbo zabo kugira ngo abashe gukuramo ubu basigazemo amasegonda 48 kandi mbere uko bajye kuzamuka ngira ngo bayibonaga ko harimo amasegonda hafi 53 bivuze ikire bivuze ngo birasaba kwitwara cyane kuri abasore bakongeramo imbaraga kuko peloto niki bishinzwe nyine abakuri inyuma bakubara
ariko ni nabyo byabaye kuko uribuka ko nubundi mu byukuri bari gusiganwa bari mu kivunge urabizi ko hari nubundi hari itsinda ry'abacitse ry'abagenzi
babo uramubona
ndamubona cyane hari nubundi hari itsinda ry'abatsinze ry'abacitse ry'abagenzi babo bagezeho hajyamo iminota igeze kuri ibire didi barangije baravuga ati nituramuka tutagenze muri iyi groupe biraza kugira gute biraza kugorana ubwo rero birangira bagize gute basunitse barabafata ubwo ndakeka bamwe bari n'inyuma ko hari abakoresha imbaga nyinshi
ubwo rero ngira ngo murabona indi iyi ni itsinda cyangwa se ni peloto iyobowe no witwa Remorque Van Power umwe mu bakinnyi nabo bari inyuma ngo ari guhabwa n'amahirwe kugeza ubu ngubu kandi bazi kutugarura turebe abakinnyi babiri bayoboye iyi peloto cyangwa se bayoboye iri siganwa kugeza ubu ngubu ni umukinnyi ukomoka mu gihugu cya Slovania akaba no guhabwa amahirwe Tadej Pogacar ari kumwe na mugenzi we Toho ukomoka mu gihugu cya Mexique hariya twari turi rero n'ubundi ni muhanda batangiye kumanuka ugananga ku biro by'umuvunyi niho barimo baragenda bano bakinnyi babiri bagiye gutangira kuzamuka rero uyu muhanda wa Kimihura mbere ko bamanuka uno muhanda ujya gufata hitwa kwa Rasta mbere ko bazamuka peyaje bakora erape ya kabiri yabo ntekereza ko biza noneho
kwicayura baza kwicayura cyane
kwicayura erape ya nyuma niho tuyibona ariko nanga harimo imibare kuko urabibona ko Remorque afite mugenzi w'umuri imbere uri kugenda utuma umuyaga utamugeraho cyangwa se uri gutuma hasigaramo ubasha kumutwara nukuvuga ngo
anasevinga akabaraga
yego nukuvuga ngo Remorque urabona ko ari kumwe na mugenzi we aribo bayoboye ikintu na mugenzi arimo aramukora niki arabizi ko atatwara irushanwa ahubwo arimo aramuha icyo twita nka speed agomba kujya cyangwa se akadance cyangwa se wa muvuduko umuha support kugira ngo akomeze kugenda we nicyo kintu shinzwe hari we arimo aramutwara cyo bitwa gutwara ari kumutwara kugira ngo akomeze bagende barebe ko bakongera batajya inyuma cyane nicyo barimo barakora ahangaha rero hakaba hasigayemo
kugira ngo bagume muri iriya tsinda kabisa
amasegonda 50 hagati ya peloton ndetse n'abakinnyi babiri bayoboye isiganwa barimo Tadej Pogacar turimo turareba n'ubundi kuri screen zacu tunareba kandi ibyiza bitatse igihugu cy'u Rwanda birumvikana nk'ikiyaga cya Kivu kimwe mu biyaga bifasha abanyarwanda mu buryo bushoboka haba mu buryo bwo kwinjiza amafaranga urabizi ko ari urabizi ko hari abanyarwanda bakoramo uburobyi mo hariya
nibyo cyane
yego ariko kandi hakaba hanatanga ingufu z'amashanyarazi zitandukanye numvaga bavuga ngo ni petroli sindi ibintu bari bavunyemo
ni petroli nabyumvisho ariko
ubwo rero ni ikiyaga cyiza cyane ugabana ukomeze kugenda nyine
ubonye kiriya kirwa
batweretse dusuzana bose banadukurikiye bari Rubavu
ndahabona cyane hariya rwose za Rubavu aho bita Brasserie urahabona
aho ugomba kuba uhazi byanga bikunda umuraguye ati Rubavuziye nzi kuri Brasserie honyine gusa
reka nkwereke si honyine nzi ahitwa ku Majengo urahabona none sawa ubwo rero hariya rwose za Brasserie ni ahantu umuntu wese wabashije kugera hari Rubavu abazi cyane
amasegonda 56 niyo asigaye hagati ya peloton ndetse n'abakinnyi babiri bayoboye isiganwa urabona ko baza kugera Kimihurura barimo baramanuka hafi na Ribu
ndahabona cyane
ku cyicaro gikuru cya Ribu barimo baramanuka bagiye kugera kuri wa muhanda usa nk'ujya kwa Minyoni ariko ntabwo rero bahita bakomerezaho kuko barita bambuka kira kiraro bito kwa Rasta bahita bazamuka hitwa peyaje bazamuke bagere mu mujyi bazenguruke babone kumanuka bajya Nyabugogo bazenguruke n'ubundi bazamuke uri muhanda urabona ko bari gusoza umuhanda umwe
abandi bawinjiramo
bagenzi bo bahita binjiramo bayoboye peloto barimo n'uyu mubikinnyi umubirigi muri rusange hakasigayemo segonda 56 ndabona Nova bitangiye kwicayura kuko twavuga ngo uwitwa Tadej na mugenzi we Toho ukomoka mu gihugu cya Mexique baraza gusiga cyangwa se baraza
kwanikira
bagenzi babo ahantu hazamuka cyane ariko mu hazamuka bonye ko hasigaye amasegonda 49 ariko bageze ahantu hari imirambo yatambitse hanamanuka hatajya mu masegonda 56 nekereza ko aba bakinnyi icyo twavugaga baraza kubasiga ahazamuka ariko kuko nyine ari peloto harimo bari kugenda baterana imbaraga baraza kuyakuramo ariko ni beza cyane mu buryo bwo kuzamuka bari kumwe
ariko mu kizamuka na habo mu bijyanye no gutambika
hari kuba habo ariko kuko badafite abantu bari kubasunika abasunika biraza kubagora cyane bivuze ngo Nova aba bakinnyi baraza gushaka bagenzi babo baza kuza kubasunika kuko niba tabasunika biraza kugora uribuka kuri individual time trial
yego ndabibona
uribuka ko remoke ahanga bageze undi bazamuka kwa Minyoni aho bageze niho remorque yanyuriye kuri Tadej basi aze kutugarura turebe twatangiye kano gasozi cyangwa se uyu muhanda uwitwa Tadej ayoboye ariko kubera ko Tadej atari mwiza mu kuzamuka ari wenyine adafite bagenzi be bamusunika bamuha cadence yo kugenderaho biri kugorana cyane bikahita bituma baza kumunyiraho tuvugana Toro ahise ajya imbere n'ubwo bombi bayoboye ahise ajya imbere kandi nagasozi gafite uburambe bw'icyenda ugitangira urumva rero niba gitangira kwinjira ku 10 kuzamuka uwitwa Tadej baraza baza no gusigara inyuma cyane gusa
ikintu gihari
tuvugana biracyashoboka ko iyi cadence bariho uyu muvuduko bariho n'ibihe basigarana kugira ngo basoze kuko tuvugana harabura ibirometero 77 na metero 500 kugira ngo basoze birashoboka ko iyi cadence ay masegonda asigayemo bayakipinga
ikintu gihari kuri Tadej Pogacar ubwo abantu bamuzi cyane n'ubundi iyo byamaze kugera mu birometero 50 Didi iki kintu arakizi cyane ni hashaka bazamuka ni hashaka bamanuka iki kintu arakizi cyane n'umukinnyi mwiza cyane n'umukinnyi ufite experience Didi ngiye ku bwanjye ndabona ko biraza kugorana yego harimo uduce duterera cyane harimo uduce dutambika kandi buri Tadej ni muzima cyane mwiza cyane mu bitambika ikintu kiraza kuba kiba kiza kuri abanya Slovania bamwe nabonye bari no kugenda bavamo uyu Tadej araza kwanikira uyu muvandimwe bari kugendana wa Mexique
yego
araza kumwanikira
yego no kuvuga ngo rero bamaze gukora inshuro 10 aho bari kuzenguruka kuri KCC bivuze ngo abagenzi ba Detoro ndetse na Pogacar bayokomeje kuyobora iyi Shampiyona cyangwa se iri siganwa basigaje gukora circuit 6 kugira ngo basoze ariko circuit 6 bari gukora nahanganya Rutarama hanyuma bakabona kuza
hanyuma bakabasoza
yego nuko ngo rero isiganwa risigaje ibirometero bigera muri hafi 60 bya nyuma ikinyuranyo kikaba ari amasegonda 58 hagati y'abayoboye ndetse n'abandi gusa ubu ndabona ritangiye kuvamo risiganye amasegonda 50 birashoboka ko abakinnyi bakitwara neza muri rusange tukabona aribo begukana isiganwa
birashoboka cyane
kandi bitewe n'ibirometero bisigaye ntabwo bavuga ko Tadej na bagenzi be bashobora kuza gukuramo aya masegonda kuko biragoye cyane
Didi ikintu gihari kuri uyu Tadej twese turamuzi kuri ibirometero 40 ingahe na experience ye abateye ubwoba ubwo rero ku bantu rwose bari kuvuga ngo uwitwara makashobora kuza gukora comeback cyashobora kuza gukora amaya uyu mwanya urimo cyane katari na munini cyane Didi biraza kugorana icyambere cyo nitureba kuri Tadej n'ubundi amenyereye gutwara cyane amenyereye gutwara izi etape zo kuba rwose ari kumwe na bagenzi be yego ahangaha yabasize ubundi babaga bari kumwe bari kugenda bamwatakira abona ko bamwe banashizemo ariko icyizere kirahari buriya kubanya kuri bano bavandimwe rwose bamwe baniyicariye abenshi n'akazi bamaze no kugasoza
ubwo ukikomoza kuri ibyo ngibyo reka ndebe ko ngerageza guhamagara bagenzi bacu bari hirya no hino batubwire uko gahunda zimeze barimo witwa Jean Dabarasa
uherereye hariya za Nyamirambo ndetse na za Norvège
yego
muri ya misozi izamuka cyane
hari Nyamirambo areba uburyo bamanuka ndetse n'uburyo bazamuka
ubundi hariya nabonye ari bindi babakubiteye ibintu by'amascreen ameze neza cyane bya biscreen binini cyane abantu rero bariyo bari kwinjoyinga bategereje kuba bareba ya pave witwa Tadej, ubwo ndavuga champion w'isi kuko aka kanya niwe ufite niwe champion w'isi. Bategereje rwose kuba bareba ngo igarara rizamura gute muri aya mapave ko twabonye utayabasha cyane, uraza kongera ko hasigirwa. Ibyo byose ni ibiri kurebwa. Ubwo rero ahangaha ahantu isiganwa rigeze, ahangaha nanone bagiye kuba bivangura Didi, bagiye kuba bivangura. Urabona ko
barimo barasoza ka gasozi kangaha n'ubundi yo twita kwa Minyoni mbere ko bahita bagera kuri wa muhanda n'undi utambye kujya kuri KCC, ahantu harimo ibirometero hafi 2. Nekereza rero ko bagiye gutangira no gukuba binjira neza muri circuit ya gatanu ibanziriza.
Muvandimwe igare ramufana
rero umunyamubirigi ahise aparika ku ruhande, ashobora kuba igare rye rigize ikibazo. Umurongo wa telefone turi kumwe na Jean Dabarasa. Umeze neza? Ubu tuvugana uri haganaye?
Ndi kwa Mutwe niho basa n'abahasoje kuko uwanyuma haciye mu kanya gato gashize n'abanyeretse yari kumwe n'umusore w'umunya Egypt yo mu gihugu cya Misiri, nibo bahazamutse bwa nyuma kuko ya ambulance ndetse na bya moto bigaragaza yuko nta wundi muntu usigaye mu nzira byaje. Haciyemo akanya gato cyane duhita tubona andi magare agera kuri 4 ari inyuma. Biba ngombwa ko abaturage bamaze kujya mu muhanda, polisi imaze kurekura abapolisi leta ko bajya mu muhanda bakabajya imbere kugira ngo babafashe hataza kugira ukora impanuka cyangwa se akaba yagongana n'umuturage. Kugeza amagingo yangaya kwa Mutwe umuyonzi wa nyuma cyangwa se umukinnyi wa nyuma haciyemo nk'iminota 5-6 amaze gutambuka.
Ubu tuvugana Ndabarasa, uwitwa Remorque Van Poweri igare rye rigize ikibazo, araparika shot uducupa ku muhanda, aravuga ati
ubona umujinya rwose ari
mwinshi cyane, igare rye riramutenguha. Abwira imodoka ati nyabona muveho, ndabona amasegonda 40 yarasigayemo akomeza kwiyongera. Ndagira ngo utubwire abanyarwanda bari aho ngaho, shampiyona y'isi irangiye, igare ribanyuzeho, urabona ibyishimo byabo bimeze bite kuri uwo musozi cyangwa se kuri ako gaterera ko kwa Mutwe ndetse na Nyamirambo muri rusange?
Umwuka uri aho ngaho umeze ute?
Mu by'ukuri urebye byari byishimo cyane. Urebye kwa Mutwe mu mafoto twagiye tusharinga abadukurikira ku mbuga zacu nkoranyambaga, bari abantu benshi baje babukereye bavuye mu bice bitandukanye. Urabizi yuko uretse n'irushanwa na rino siganwa ry'isi no muri Tour du Rwanda, ahangaha ni hamwe mu hantu haba uburyohe bw'igare. Haba uburyohe bw'igare kuko abahazamuka yashinyirije, ubona byanze mu by'ukuri. Abantu bari benshi, abakinnyi bigaragara yuko nabo bahaciye mu bice bigera kuri 6, amapeloto agera kuri 4, ariko mu bice bigera kuri 6 wabonaga yuko abaturage bishimye cyane. Muri abo bose bahaciye tumaze kuvuga ni umunyarwanda umwe wenyine wahaciye. Abanyarwanda bakoma amashyi baramusapotinga, abereka yuko nawe yishimiye ko uburyo bamwakiriye ahangaha. Ubona ko bari kugenda bereka ku mutima bagira ati mu by'ukuri ndabashimira cyane, kimwe n'abandi banyamahanga bose, kimwe n'abandi bakinnyi bose bari muri ino siganwa bazamutse hano kwa Mutwe. Ubonaga ko bishimiwe cyane. Ahangaha ni hamwe mu hantu hari abantu benshi kandi bari bafite ibyishimo ndetse bari no gufara ku rwego rwo hejuru.
Abantu bari kwibaza bati aho ngaho uri mu bibaza icyo kibazo nanjye ndimo,
yego abanyonzi bahazamutse gute? Nta bantu bagiye rwose bava no kwigare bakaryikora ku mutwe bakazamuka n'amaguru, ko ahantu tuzi ko harimo agasozi
n'iryo pave.
Ndagira ngo umishusho umunyarwanda ari byo yahaciye bamukomera amashyi, ariko se arimo arazamuka ngo abakinnyi barimo barazamuka aho hantu Ndabarasa, nta muntu abona ururimi rwenda kuvaho.
Nawe urabizi kuko ahangaha uko byagenda kose ndahamya ndashidikanya yuko mu hantu bagiye baca muri shampiyona y'isi, ahangaha niho hambere hashobora kuba hagoye kurusha ahandi hose. Uvuze ku kantu ko gufata igare bakikorera, iyi ni shampiyona y'isi bitandukanye n'andi mashampiyona yose twagiye tubona. Abantu baza muri shampiyona y'isi uretse nk'u Rwanda, bitewe n'uko ariko twakiriye, abandi bose n'abantu bari ku rwego rwo hejuru. Nta uri ku rwego rwo kuba yafata igare ngo ashyire ku rutugu nk'uko twagiye tubibona muri za Tour du Rwanda, ariko yari ikiri kuri 2 n'ibice 2. yego wabonaga ko ururimi rwenda kuvamo kuko nka Pogacar ari kuzamuka ahangaha mu by'ukuri wabonaga yuko ari kuyenaniwe ko niwe wazamutse ayoboye abandi ahangaha kwa Mutwe wabonaga yuko mu by'ukuri ari ibintu byamugoye ndetse n'abandi bari inyuma bose ukabona ko barimo bagenda basunika ubona byanze ariko nta kundi kuntu bagomba kugenza bagomba gukora ishoboka byose bakazamuka kuko niko kazi barimo ariko ishusho y'abakinnyi ishusho y'abanyonga bazamukaga kwa Mutwe wabonaga yuko ni nko kurwana n'ubuzima ariko nabyita ni nko kurwana n'ubuzima kuko ubona ko ari ahantu hagoye cyane.
ubu tuvugana rero witwa Remorque yongeye kugaruka mu irushanwa ariko mu by'ukuri urabona ko hakirimo igihe reka tukureke turaza kugaruka mu kanya wenda tukubaza indi ambiance iri aho ngaho turebera hamwe n'uko isiganwa riza gusoza
agenda atubwira byinshi rwose
tubwira uko gahunda zimeze ubwo uwitwa Nova nawe yagiye kuba nterera isimu mugenzi wacu n'ubundi nawe uri kuri Kigali Convention Center
ngiye rwose kuba ngenda muvugisha
atubwira uko bimeze ubwo Jean Ndabarasa ubwo mu kanya rero turongera tuguhamagare tukubaze uko gahunda zimeze aho ngaho muri rusange
yego
n'ubundi mu gihe utegereje igare waba utubariza abanyarwanda uburyo babyiteguye wenda ku munsi w'ejo n'ubundi mu kiganiro Sportsline na Sportsland uburyo tuzaganaho tumva uko gahunda zimeze kuri iri zuba ariko ushaka wanazamuka ugafata igikoma haruguru nta kibazo
kwikoza ahantu rwose aba ari amarangi menshi
niko Ndabarasa
mbere y'uko mwongera kumbaza uko bimeze murasanga ameze neza cyane
Ndabarasa ariko ndabizi ko yitwaje akandi yitwaje
nizere ko ufite akandi
cyane akanyirangarama rwose ndakagendana cyane
caho hano rero mu bayovu badusuhuze babwire bati bimeze bite ko mutari kuza gufana ikipe yambaye icyatsi ariyo Slovania
abari kuyifana bari byamye
Slovania yambaye icyatsi
icyatsi ariko ntabwo ari cya kintu cya Kiyovu atansiyo
babona urucaca
sasa turagaruka mu kanya
reka twakira
bamwita rero Ndabarasa akaba arimo aragenda akurikirana amagare yibereye hariya ku murongo wa telefoni kandi twakakira undi uri kuri kesi
yego wasere wiriwe neza cyane wasere umeze ute uri hehe waka kanya uherereye he
umeze neza uherereye kuri Kigali Convention Center aho mu kanya gatoya igare rigiye gusorezwa
yego
urabona ko hari abafana benshi abantu b'ingeri zose ari abasaza urubyiruko ndetse n'abakecuru murabona ko hari abantu bishimye cyane ibintu byose bimeze neza
yego wasere aho n'ubundi abasiganwa bahaciye inshuro nyinshi aho ngaho ubwitabire bumeze bute aho ngaho byifashe bite aho ngaho kuri convention
ubwitabire bwo ni bwinshi by'umwihariko nk'ahantu hari buze gusorezwa n'ubundi isiganwa ntibigaragara ariko twagiye tubona mu bindi bice cyane cyane nk'ibya Nyabugogo aribyo biherereyemo abafana benshi cyane ariko ugiye kureba hano n'ubundi kuko abantu bategereje kuza kureba uko isiganwa ribuze kurangira ariho abantu benshi bahuriye bari no kugenda biyongerana cyane ko abenshi bari kugenda bava mu ngo abandi bava gusenga ubona ko abafana bose barahari noneho by'umwihariko buri muntu wese ahagaze haravuga ngo ategereje umuntu witwa Tadej Pogacar
ati ategereje umuntu bita Tadej Pogacar Didier nawe ari kukumva cyane ubwo araza kugenda kubaza ibibazo byinshi
wasere uranyumva
yego ndakumva neza
aho kuri Kigali Convention Center ngo n'ubundi haraza kuba hari ikirori mu kanya ngo bitwa BAKRISTU na BW'IZA baraza kuba bahari
yego ni ibitaramo biri buze gusorezwa rino siganwa bamara gutanga ibihembo haraza kuba igitaramo n'ubundi batangiye no kubwiriza abantu yuko nibamara gutanga ibihembo nta muntu buze gutaha baraza gutaramirwa n'abo bahanzi barimo BW'IZA harimo KRISTU hari n'uvanga imiziki yayo DJ Era ni ibintu biriho ari byiza cyane abantu babona ko bafite morale nyinshi kandi urimo urabona ko igare ni kimwe mu bintu abanyarwanda bamaze gukunda uragenda unatambuka mu bantu ukumva bari baravuga bati icyo dushaka noneho ni uko mu minsi iri imbere twazabona n'abana b'abanyarwanda barimo bitwara neza kuko twagiye tubona ko bagoye cyane barimo ba Manizabahirike gusa ubw'amahire witwa Sengiyumva Shemu yarakiri mu isiganwa ariko ubona ko abanyarwanda umwuka w'igare wamaze kubageramo iryo bahumeka kandi ubona ko icyo kwifuza ubu noneho no kuvuga ngo dutegereje kuzabona abana b'abanyarwanda bari kwitwara neza
hanyuma se ugikomeza kubana b'abanyarwanda urabona tugeranyije n'umusaruro batanze uburyo bitwaye birumvikana urabona bano bana b'abanyarwanda babwa icyizere kingana iki n'abanyarwanda barimo urabaye icyizere kingana gute mu bihe bizaza cyangwa se muri izindi shampiyona z'isi
icyo bari kwifuza kuko nabo barabizi neza ko ni irushanwa rikomeye irushanwa ry'isi n'ubundi batangiye no gucika intege cyane cyane babona rigitangira abanyarwanda benshi basa n'abagenda bagorwa ariko barimo baravuga bati nubwo bavuga ngo ibikoresho ntibihagije ugereranyije n'abo baba bahanganye cyangwa se na tactique ndetse na tekinike zikoreshwa muri uyu mukino baravuga bati nibura yaba ari amasomo bakiga ari ababashinzwe ari nabo ubwabo bakabongerera imyitozo bakabahereza n'ibikoresho babona bibakwiriye hanyuma noneho nibura mu marushanwa ari imbere cyane cyane bakaza baribwo bitwara neza kuko urimo urumva ko bafite abana icyizere ariko barabizi neza ko iri rushanwa ry'isi kandi ririmo abakinnyi bakomeye
hanyuma wasiri ho gatonya nkubazeho gatonya rwose ku kijyanye n'akabanga aho ngaho abantu urabona ko bagafasha urabona ko umwuka ni wose bijyanye n'uko bafashe akabanga bafashe akandi aho ngaho bimeze bite Dr Sina Gerard producer abantu ziri kubageraho
urimo urazenguruka rwose ukabona bafite amazi mu ntoki
bijyanye n'uko hariho izuba ryinshi
cyane rwose na cyane ko n'uburyo bari kubakangurira abashinzwe kwemusinga cyangwa se abashinzwe bino birori barimo barabwira bati mufate amazi hataza kugira uza kwitura hasi ariko urabona ko bafata amazi rwose akandi ukabona ko baritabiriye cyane cyane kuko sinashyira yamaze gutanga itandukaniro nabwo barabizi urimo urabona ko umurongo uri gutonda ugatambuka ku ruhande ukabona umuntu usafite amazi kandi ukabona umuntu hirya gatoya cyane cyane noneho nk'abanyamahanga urimo urabona ko ku kintu kijyanye n'akabanga uri kwibwira uti babimenye bati ahantu duhagaze turi kureba igare ahantu duhagaze cyangwa se n'ahandi hose nta byo kurya bihari usibye ahabugenewe bari kumenya bate ko akabanga gahari cyangwa se akabanga ari ngombwa ko bakagura ariko ni uko babizi neza ko ni rumwe mu rutana rwamaze gutanga itandukaniro nicyo kintu kinashimishije cyane uri kwibaza ubundi uti kuko abanyarwanda bamaze kubimenyera ariko abanyamahanga urimo urareba ukabona ko nabo ubwabo barimo baravuga bati reka tugende dusogongere kuri uru rusenda bakabanga natwe twumva ukuntu rumeze ariko urimo urabona ko ari ibintu byiza cyane
hanyuma rero urabibona ko abitwa ba Tadepu Gaca urabona ko Matera Rwanda fomo rwose barayiyobotse urabona ko uyu mugongo bari gukoresha gutya nuko baraye kuri Matera Rwanda fomo nta muntu ubona aho ngaho waba ufite umunaniro abantu bose urabona barayobotse Matera Rwanda fomo byifashe bitaho ngaho kuri Matera Rwanda fomo
mbere y'ibyo byose amakuru naje gukura nuko mbere y'uko Pogacar agera mu Rwanda yabanje kuvuga ngo kimwe mu bintu ashaka kuzaryama ahantu heza akimara guhabwa hoteli rero yo kuryamamo yavuga ngo icyo nkeneye ko bampereza amatora neza kugira ngo nzabashe kwegukana iri siganwa ry'uyu mwaka riri kubera mu Rwanda by'umwihariko bwa mbere muri Afurika ari na bwa mbere mu Rwanda ari n'amateka hanyuma bahita bagenda baravuga bati umuti wa mbere ni Matera Rwanda fomu hano rero ugiye no kureba abantu bahari bose nta muntu n'umwe ufite umunaniro biragaragara yuko kuva mu gitondo cyane abantu ba mbere bahageze ku isaha y'isa 12 tekereza umuntu uhagaze kuva ku isaha y'isa 12 kugera amasaha ngaya na n'ubu ngubu kandi agitegereje kuko harabura kilometero 64 zose kugira ngo nibura isiganwa rize kurangira ariko urabona ko nta munaniro bafite igisobanuro cyabyo nuko bose baba baraye kuri Matera za Rwanda fomu
ego ubwo rero rwose abantu bataragana Matera Rwanda fomu rwose byaba ari ikibazo cyane kuko murabyumva ko n'aba batwazi rwose bakoresha umugongo cyane izo baba bakoresheje memu n'aba bantu bagiye kuba bareba rwose mu by'ukuri baba bamaze umwanya munini bahagaze hariya muri fan zone rwose urimo byumva ko ni Matera Rwanda fomu ngushimire cyane wasere
urakoze cyane
ubwo mu kanya rwose turaza kongera tugukenere barimo baragenda basoza ugenda utubwira byinshi cyane uko bari gusoza ababaye aba mbere bashije kwitwara neza ariko wakoze cyane
urakoze namwe
amwumvishe rero rwose uwo ni wasere twagendaga wagenda gutuganiriza uko hariya byifashe ubwo ndavuga hariya convention biba biryoshye cyane mu minsi ishize nari ndiyo n'ejo memu nari ndiyo rwose biba biryoshye cyane, haba hari ambiance kuko bijyanye nuko niho basoreza, niho batangirira, ariko ikindi gikomeye cyane baranahazenguruka cyane. Ubwo rero ubusanga rwose hari abantu benshi cyane, hari nawo twaganira mu minsi ishize barambwira ati nkurikije ukuntu u Rwanda rwakiriye neza iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare, ati twizere ko rwose na FIFA baraza kubitekerezaho bakaba bagira gutya bakaduhereza igikombe cy'isi, kuko ku kijyanye no kwakira n'ibindi bintu. Ubwo rero hariya haba hari ambiance, biba biryoshye cyane. Nabivuze, igare rimaze kuba ubukombe hano mu Rwanda, rimaze kuba ubuzima cyane. Ubu wasire ndabizi ko mu kanya araza kuba agenda aganiriza abantu ku munsi w'ejo mu kiganiro Sportland ndetse na Sportline, muzagenda mwumva abantu rwose bababwiye, mwumva uburyo bishimiye cyane kuba bakiriye iyi shampiyona y'isi. Ubwo rero uwo ni wasire rwose twagendaga tuganira, ariko mbibutse ko nanone n'umuvandimwe Ndabarasa uri hari Nyamirambo, nga hari abantu ku buryo ngo niyo rwaba urushinge rutabona ahantu rujya. Hari abantu benshi, abanyarwanda bakunda igare, abanyarwanda ubwitabire n'ibindi bindi. None abashimira cyane kuko mu by'ukuri bagaragaje ko kuba u Rwanda ruba rwashakishe imikino idufasha kwishima, nabo rwose baba bagomba kugira gute, baba bagomba kwitabira bakaza kubyinjoyinga cyane ko ari twebwe baba babizanye. Ubwo rero abanyarwanda bagiye muri fan zone guhera ku munsi wa mbere kugeza na n'ubu, nta muntu mu by'ukuri bigeze ubihatiriza bwabo ku giti cyabo. Mu by'ukuri ndabashimiye cyane, bakajya gutera ingabo mu bitugu aba banyarwanda. Ubwo rero ni ibyo ngibyo kuri uyu muvandimwe wasire ndetse n'Ndabarasa. Mu kanya turaza kongera tugende tumuvugisha, turaza kugenda twongera tubavugisha rwose, bagende batubwira byinshi cyane ko mu by'ukuri mwabyumvishe ko wasire waherereye hariya convention center, naho baraza gusoreza, bwaraza kutubwira byinshi cyane. Igare bararisoza, ari kugenda tubwira byinshi cyane, ari nako natwe tugenda turisesengura ko ubu aka kanya aho bageze murabona ko uduce tumwe na tumwe ahangaha turimo turagenda twataka, tugenda tuva muri kiriya gikundi. Ubwo icyo biba bivuze ahangaha, abahanga bagenda bivangura, babandi bagiye rwose bazigama imbaraga zabo bagenda bivangura, ugasanga kuko nko ku munsi w'ejo uriya munyakanada watwaye iriya etape, mu by'ukuri etape nyinshi yigenderaga mu gikundi cyangwa yagendaga muri kiriya kivunge, bikarangira rwose ugasanga nka ntuze ugasanga asoje ari wa karindwi, asoje ari wa gatanu, asoje ari wa 10, wa 20, ari nawe yageze wa 25. Ubwo mu kuzenguruka ariko birangira kuri ntuze ya nyuma agize gutya yakabandi, abereka ko rwose nubwo bamutwaye, kuko mu by'ukuri bari abatwazi baba barimo hagati, nta muyaga mwinshi mumva, mu by'ukuri ubusanga ari no gukururwa n'uri imbere. Ubwo rero niho rwose ahangaho bigeze, kuko mu by'ukuri mu bagabo ho kwataka ku kilometero cya 60 ni ibintu byumvikana ko mwabibonye kadance bano batwazi cyangwa bano bakinnyi bari kugenderaho. Ubwo rero ni ibintu byumvikana. Ubwo mu kanya muraza kugenda mubona bamwe rwose bari kugenda bagira gute biyaka bagenzi babo gake gake, turaza kwisanga basoje mu bikundi. Niho twagiye tubona bamwe baza mu myanya y'inyuma rwose, mu myanya umuntu atabasha no kuba agenda agira gute, bamwe baraza no kuvamo, kuko mu by'ukuri nk'iri pave muraribona. Ubwo hano ni Nyamirambo, muri kuribona ahari abantu benshi kandi benshi cyane, muraza kugenda rwose mubibona, ndetse na cyane bamwe bagenda bavamo, bamwe ahangaha rwose baba bagenda bavamo nta mikino, kuko mu by'ukuri ikijyanye naho irushanwa riba rimaze kugera biba bikomeye cyane. Ubwo rero nuko bimeze rwose. Ubwo mwebwe mukomeje gukurikirana PACIS TV ndetse na Shine Up TV, muherereye mureba rwose igare muri Nyanza, ndabasuje cyane, mukomeze mudukurikirana, natwe turagenda tukomeza kwababera cyane. Didi arahari cyane, mwamwumvishe ko ku kijyanye n'igare bari ibindi navuga ko rwose ari umwe mu banyamakuru rwose beza hano mu Rwanda. ubwo rero turaza kuba tugenda tubakurikiranira cyane murabibona ko ni ibirometero bigeze kuri 62 bisigaye ndetse murabibona ko n'ubundi witwa Tadepu Gaca aracyabayoboye aracyabatwaye uyu nguyu narabivuze bigeze mu birometero 50 yambika urundi ruhu ugasanga rwose uwo twabonaga mu kivungemo hariya akamwiyambura neza neza bikaba ari ibindi ubwo ku kintu gihari kinakomeye cyane uyu muvandimwe araza kugenda agira gute aho bigeze ubu ngubu mugiye kuba mugenda ku bantu bakurikiye igare mugiye kuba mugenda mubona ego
kugeza ubu ngubu uwitwa Remorque yongeye kuza yisanga muri peloto ni nawe uyoboye bagenzi be yego ariko abakinnyi 24 bari muri peloto
Edidi bigenda gute kugira ngo uve mu kivunge nka kuriya uze kongera kwisangamo kuko twayibonye n'uwitwa Tadepu Gaca yigeze kujya guhindura igare yisanga inyuma aza kongera kugira gute kongera kwisanga imbere bigenda bite
irani resistance no kumenyera kubera ko buri mukinnyi wese ntabwo yakora biriya nanone ariko nk'umukinnyi nyine urumva ufite intego cyangwa se uri mu beza barimo hariyo n'abarusha ubushobozi bwose bushoboka abano bakinnyi baba elite navuga ngo bari no guhabwa amahirwe y'abatadinpogi ndetse na Remorque n'abakinnyi bakunze guhora bahanganye buri gihe kandi barusha buri kimwe cyose gikenerwa bano bakinnyi barimo barakina amahanga bivuze iki rero bivuze ngo isaha n'isaha we ashobora no kugwa mwitangizwa w'umunota umwe kuko aro byageze witwa Remorque bamusiga umunota umwe n'amasegonda 56 nyuma yo gukoresha igare ariko yagarutse ayakuramo kugeza ubu ngo arimo amasegonda 58 na bagenzi be bari kumwe muri iyi cadence cyangwa se muri uyu muvuduko w'abakinnyi bayoboye iyi peloto navuga ngo rero biracyashoboka cyane mu nshuro hafi enye zisigaye kugira ngo basoze umukinnyi wo mu gihugu cy'Ububirigi ashobora kuza none kongera kwigobotora kuko igihe yari yasizwemo n'ubundi yamaze gukavaringa ariko ikibitira ni ikihe nuko peloton cyakimubwira nyine peloto ibiri aho ngaho iri kugenda ifite imibare myinshi uriya mukinnyi uri hariya uyoboye nk'uko Pogi ari imbere aba afite imibare myinshi cyane kurenza ya peloto ikibikwereka ni ikirere ikibikwereka nuko uyu Pogi aba ari wenyine avuga ngo ngenda komeza ngendere kuri muvuduko ariko muri peloto umwe abagaburira feeding abagenzi be muri peloto ujya gusanga ukabona nk'umukinnyi umuvuduko ariho agerageje gushitura abagenzi be nk'upogi nta muntu wamushitura cyangwa se nta muntu wamusurika ngo agende niyo mpamvu kugenda umwe uze kugerageza urebe yagize amahirwe abura umuntu uza gushitura peloto biza gutuma akomeza kugenda ari wenyine kuko wakongera gushitura peloto Remorque ntago yarahari ariko ubu ngubu yamaze kugaruka ahangaha Pogi nasigara ari wenyine araza kubura umuntu umusunika nabura umuntu umusunika noneho ya peloto itangiye kugenda imufatiraho niyo mpamvu umunota umwe wavuyemo tugeze ku masegonda 57 nova rero unyemere mu kanya mbere yuko tugaruka twinjira muri etape za nyuma unyemere tuone dutumikira abafatanyabikorwa turi kubona muri iki kiganiro ndetse n'abafatanyabikorwa mu by'ukuri twabanye muri uyu mwaka muri iyi shampiyona yose muri iki gihe cy'cyumweru turabashimira cyane twe turi kumwe na Rwanda Form uruganda rwiza rumaze imyaka hafi irenga 40 rutanga nziza ndetse n'imisego batanga bakoze igishoboka cyose kugira ngo abanyarwanda bagire ubuzima bwiza ni Rwanda Form usibye niyo kandi turashimira na Sina Gerard Entreprise urwibutso kubera ko muri iki gihe cy'icyumweru twarabanye badukwereka buryo ki donc bishimiye urukundo rw'abanyarwanda bishimira kandi kubaha serivisi nziza zirimo ibinyobwa byiza ibiribwa byiza ariko kandi hari n'ishuri bazanye rya College Sina Gerard Foundation naryo ritanga ubumenyi bwiza ku banyeshuri bashoboye kwigamo mu by'ukuri bakajya ku isoko ry'umurimo bifuzwa cyane abo turabashimira kuko twabanye nayo muri iyi shampiyona
twari tumeze neza twari turi mu mutaka wabo ikintu navuga kinakomeye cyane mu by'ukuri Edidi hari izuba ryinshi cyane akandi niko katumye tutajya ku matere ngo tugende usange rwose
uragaruka isura nayihari
ngo usange isura rwose yamaze kuba
bagenzi bacu turi kumwe barimo nka
wasere ndetse ndabarasa bose bameze neza cyane
ikindi aricyo mu Kinyarwanda twita ku kanyenyera
ikindi gikomeye cyane Didi n'abantu bari hariya bari mu mafani zone nabo akandi karabafashije cyane narabikubwiye nkubwira ukuntu aya mazi aturuka mu rutare mindani rwarasatuwe kugira ngo abanyarwanda tube tumeze neza cyane tube dukitse ubwo rero rwose tubashimire cyane twarabanye kandi tubana neza
Yeah.
ni iby'agaciro kandi kubana nabo ubwo rero rwose akandi ndetse n'akarabura karabona ko mba nkaryamyeho cyane ariko ku isonga narabikubwiye Didier buriya njyewe iyo bigeze ku kabanga bihari ibindi
bimeze neza turi kumwe kandi n'ishuri rya Saint Joseph Integrated Technical College rero ari i Nyamirambo ni ishuri ryiza riba hari i Nyamirambo riza gufasha abanyarwanda gusohora abanyeshuri beza bafite ubumenyi nagereranywa kuko abasoje bose ahanga muri iki kigo basoza babona akazi kubera iki kubera ko babashije gufata ubumenyi bahawe n'abarimu batandukanye bo muri iki kigo cya St Joseph Integrated Technical College ko bari kwandika abanyeshuri muri A1 bari kwandika muri programme yitwa BTech cyangwa se ya 4 cyangwa se imyaka aho biga imyaka ine abashoje muri secondary nabo bari kwandikwa muri ya 1 umwaka wa mbere aho bazajya biga kugeza bashoje Bachelors of Technology BTech A1 muri rusange rero tujyane ku buhanga bw'ibyuma duhe akanya gato twamaniza afatanye ko twinjire mu kanya noneho turebera hamwe rape za nyuma ninde wegukana shampiyona y'isi y'amagare men elite road race aho abakinnyi batandukanye barimo barahatana kugira ngo barebe ugomba kuryegukana of course Tuyisenge Didier
ndetse na Nova
reka tugaruke mu kanya noneho twinjira ku bafatanye ko turi kumwe nabo turebera hamwe uko iyi shampiyona iza gusoza muri rusange.
Ntibumva ko kubyuka mu gitondo kare bigoye kurira ibirometero amagana kugira ngo urebe kudasigara ndetse no kurwana n'amajwi yo mu mutwe adahagarara kubwira ati rekera ntabwo warenza aha ariko ibyo byose ntihagire na kimwe kiguhagarika gukomeza kuko intsinzi izanwa no kuruhuka bihagije kandi neza. Rwanda Farm kanga ukomeze nk'igihangange. Ku bindi bisobanuro hamagara 0788 30 0218 cyangwa 0788 30 75 32. Rwanda Farm, le paradis du matelas. Rwanda Farm, matela nyarwanda.
Murakaza neza muri St Joseph Integrated Technical College Nyamirambo, ishuri rikuru ry'abihaye Imana b'abafurere b'aba Josephite. Abarangije amashuri yisumbuye mwashyizwe igorora kuko uretse icyiciro cya mbere Advanced Diploma cyari kihasanzwe, mwazaniwe n'icyiciro cya kabiri Bachelor's Degree mu mashami abiri mashya ariyo Bachelor of Technology in Information Technology na Bachelor in Construction Technology. Amahitamo na yawe kuko ushobora kwiga ku manywa ibizwi nka day program cyangwa se ukiga muri gahunda ya nimugoroba evening program. St Joseph Integrated Technical College Nyamirambo bafite umwihariko w'abarimu b'indashyikirwa, ibyumba by'amashuri byiza kandi bigezweho, amasomero y'ibitabo, ibyumba by'ikoranabuhanga, laboratoire na workshops zifasha abanyeshuri mu masomo n'ubushakashatsi. Abarangije iwacu mwifuza gukomereza mu cyiciro cya kabiri mu masomo ya Bachelor of Technology mushonje muhishuwe kuko imyanya yanyu yateganyijwe. Amafaranga y'ishuri yo nimuhangayike kuko ibiciro byoroheye buri wese. Amasomo azatangira kuwa 29 Nzeri 2025 ndetse kwiyandikisha byaratangiye ku cyicaro cy'iri shuri i Nyamirambo mu mujyi wa Kigali neza imbere y'urukiko rw'ubucuruzi. Ku bisobanuro birambuye mwasura urubuga WA1 SJITC /ACHA/RAWA cyangwa mugahamagara kuri telefone 0782 30 65 93. Hari na 0783 12 77 28. St Joseph Integrated Technical College Nyamirambo turimbangukana bigituka bigisubizo mu bwubatsi n'ikoranabuhanga.
Byose ni kuri Nyirangarama.
Aho turi hose tumwagasha ibanga ry'akabanga aho riva yo mu mabanga y'imisozi iteze neza.
Byose ni kuri Nyirangarama.
The quality sitting all of the apexes. Well, the fifth.
Byose ni kuri Nyirangarama.
Aho turi hose tumwagasha ibanga ry'akabanga aho riva yo mu mabanga y'imisozi iteze neza.
Well, this man is just steam powered away by the looks of him, and it's for the chase to try and get back to him. It looks like that chance is kind of hanging by a thread at the moment. It would take an entirely different complexion to this chase group here to close this gap. They're not hanging about, Brian. Equally, they cannot afford to go all in right now with still over 50 kilometres to go. They never know whether they're going to hit their own buffers, energy-wise. And so there's got to be some preservation. And when you do that, you move further away from gold.
Exactly that. I don't think anybody's going to commit 100% here. It's a case of doing what's right, and doing what's right is do your turn at the front, swing over, let the other rider come through, because for some of these riders to get on the podium here is going to be something special for them, and there's 5 of them with only 2 other medals up for grabs. I think if they all go flat out, then they can get a lot closer to Pogačar, possibly catch him. But at the end of the day, it's about preservation and trying to get what's left in this race. Unfortunately, you know, it's a difficult to be in this group of 5, because of course you want to be in it to win it, and with a minute behind you know you can. Whether we're going to see Remco Evenepoel on the next climb really put the pressure on and try and do something, I don't think even Remco Evenepoel can go across to Pogačar on his own.
I don't think Remco Evenepoel or anyone else within this group knows whether they can do it or not. And I think the belief, if they have any, has got to be shaken by the fact that Tadej Pogačar is just hanging out there. There's no way he is going to let this gap come back down, and you feel that he's got something left. This is a little bit earlier on, all the animation and the trials and tribulations that Remco Evenepoel has gone through. I think this is the second bike swap. We saw the banging of the bars as well, the pounding of his power meter, and indeed the frustration raining down upon him. Look at that. This is, he was, by the way, a footballer. Could have represented, in fact, I think he captained the junior national team at football. Chose, of course, cycling. You often get exceptional sports people transferring within sports. We know about Primož Roglič and his winter sports credentials as a ski jumper. Right now, Remco Evenepoel has parked up the anguish and has just got on with the job, and he is the fighting force within this group. He's prepared to do most within it. He might actually get boxed out of all of the medals because of the anger that's pushing him on, maybe spurring him to put a bit too much into this cause. That would be almost a tragedy if he comes in with this group battling for silver and gets no medals at all.
Well, he's putting the pressure on, which is putting the pressure on the others. But when you look at that sequence, he had the toilet break earlier on, he had to change at the pit area, and then he was asking for support. Neutral service, tried to stop, he waved them away. He kicked a bottle out the roads, got his bike, shaking the head, coming up to the line. That would suggest he just, like, game over. But I don't know where it came from, but whatever happened in his mind is made this race a little bit more interesting for me.
Can you imagine this could be a rollaway? But because of Remco Evenepoel and his mood swings, whatever recentered him, I think it was just, come on, do it for the team. We're all here for you. You've already got one world title. Finish this job. And he has actually speared through the field. He spent more time with his nose in the wind than just about anybody else here, because Tadej Pogačar, of course, had quite a sequence of exchanges with Isaac Del Toro. Not something in the gift of Remco Evenepoel, because every group he got to, he's been forced to work, Brian. He's doing it again now.
Just a moment ago, he said he just went down, eased it into the big ring, got out the saddle, went, and looking at the faces of the 4 other riders behind, Remco Evenepoel is putting them in the hurt locker, and he just has to be wary, because I really do think that he's the strongest of the group of 5 there.
Easily.
And I really do think he can take the silver medal, which would be something for Belgium. Not too sure how Evenepoel would think about it after being a world champion, but he's the time trial champion, of course. He's double Olympic champion. You know, what else has he got to prove? But I think saying about what else has he got to prove, I think he's proven something to himself today, that no matter what's thrown at him, he can still turn it around in a race and perform at the highest level.
Very much so. Listen, if he comes to the Worlds and he gets a world title, so a gold and a silver, That's actually more than Tadej Pogačar. Let's not forget that. He was 4th in time trials, Tadej Pogačar.
Yep.
Remco Evenepoel can possibly, in his own mind, claim to be the best in the world if you coagulate all of the titles. And look at the riders who've been left in the wake here.
Oh, there's top riders here. This is Sivakov coming up to his young teammate now, but you know, such is the life and tribulations of professional athletes. You go through a lot of different emotions. We're talking about one-day races, and it's in the past. Sometimes we've seen Remco Evenepoel just throw his toys out, moan at riders for not doing what was expected. You know, I like that. He's definitely a character. He definitely believes in himself, plenty of confidence. But in the highest level race, the World Championships, in the moments, you could see his emotions. You could see the shaking of the head. You could see the frustration. Tadej Pogačar has had zero to contend with. Absolutely nothing, right? But to see Remco Evenepoel, these things thrown at him, he's had to jump over a few hurdles today, and he's still come out the other side fighting for a medal here.
He's jumped over hurdles throughout his career. It's almost the nature of the game, I think it's fair to say. Some of the bottle takes here leave something to be desired. No surprise, there's an awful lot of fatigue here, which affects everything. Next of all, your juggling capabilities, which sometimes you need at moments like that. This is the group with the likes of Primož Roglic. He's just caging a bottle. It looks like they may have done their job. But this is still only a minute, you know.
Third group now, so the Sexas group with Sivakov and things like that has all come back together. So we've got, I would say, the Remco group at 1 minute and the Roglic group at 2 minutes.
Yep, exactly that. So Sesha, Sivakov and Ayuso being absorbed by the Roglic group. Meanwhile, the Evenepoel group, nobody would deny who's the lead singer of this band. There he is. He dispatches a bidon. He's got now support to get whatever he needs. But what he needs is a minute, Brian. How do you find that?
Not very easily, not against Pogačar. You're hoping that Pogačar has a difficult time, moments, and that can happen. But I just think that they are riding. The person is doing the most in this group is Evenepoel.
There's two riders here, isn't there? There's Evenepoel versus Pogačar.
Yeah, and you know that battle's been already won in my eyes. I think when he get dropped in Mount Kigali, that kind of psychological blow didn't help him. But this is all about experience and knowing yourself. We heard from Pogačar, and I actually read a few things that some people were possibly kind of writing Pogačar off. He's not mentally there, he's tired, he might not be good. And then we heard the interview with him. He said mentally and physically I'm great. In fact, he said mentally I'm very good. So he's just shown us how good he is. That might have been a little bit of a blip in the all grand scale of things in the time trial. He came from Canada, he came over here. Maybe he had less time to acclimatise. He said another week, Carrollton, to acclimatise.
He has. I'm not quite sure whether it was acclimatisation, but I tell you something, Remco Evenepoel is hoping that these 4 seconds they've just closed back down may well be reflective of what happened within the time trial. Tadej Pogačar was found out, don't forget, in the time trial. It wasn't that long ago, just last weekend. And a 2.5 minute gap was found by Remco Evenepoel over a very short distance, shorter than what we have left here. And so, if we're now in time trialing mode, and that's what Remco Evenepoel must be hoping, then something quite remarkable might happen. As it stands, Tadej Pogačar is getting all of the cheers on his own, and by a margin of just over a minute. In fact, that clock can't quite decide where it wants to be. It was at 56 seconds not that long ago. It's now seated at 1 minute and 5. So it ebbs and it flows. Tadej Pogačar needs to just maintain what he's doing at the moment. Let's for 1 minute then just think that Remco Evenepoel gets over to Tadej Pogačar. If it's a 2-up sprint on the final climb, your money has to be on Pogačar.
Yeah, I think Evan Paul is getting stronger in the sprint. Is what you've got left in the legs, but I think that scenario is not going to happen. I was just about to say, when the gap was coming down, you've got to remember that if they're riding a little bit behind and the downhill, Pogacar will be taking it a little bit easier. You know, he's got this course in his mind where he can hold back a little bit, push on. He's pushing on now, and you know, come the finishing line, this could be 115, 120 by the time we get there.
Let's see, he's digging in. He's coming up through the cobbles, and it's started to fray. This is great. This is Jan Christen, I think, who's come out of the Roglic group, and there is Roglic behind him, actually wondering whether to mark this one out. I'll be bound. So he's gone off. Seychelles has been extremely lively so far today. No sign of him, I'm afraid, but he will be within that group. But good to see Jan Christen as well, suddenly thinking, well, I've got 45 kilometres here. What he's got to do is find, what, a minute and 10 seconds. So he'll be within a medaling group.
Yeah, he's trying to come across to them. It's one of these things in this cobble climb here, you can see them. Whether he can go across on his own is a bit of a tall order. The reason why he's in this back group is because he cannot go with the guys here. So it's a real interesting one now.
Jai's off the back. Oh, that's desperate. That's what, 20 bike lengths. That doesn't feel retrievable. Jan Christen will be finding him on the road if this carries on. So Jai Hindley shares a sponsorship with Tom Pidcock. Tom Pidcock stays with what is now a quartet, including Pidcock. Ugh, I say that. It's now a trio. Goodness me. Evenepoel doesn't want passengers. I don't think this is almost by design. His mind is further up the road, focused on this man, the big green meanie, and away he goes. And let's see, a minute and 8, we'll get a definitive clock as they cross the line, but it is Tadej Pogacar that will hit it first now, and the clock begins. Here we are then, Tadej today in charge all the way.
It begs the question what happened in Mount Kigali. He couldn't go with you know, the leaders over the top, Pogacar and Del Toro. Then he started kind of bouncing around. Did he have a slow then? Did that affect him? We'll only know afterwards, but he has turned it around, and you know, he's going to come up to the line over a minute down on Pogacar. I just thought earlier on that he just cannot just do everything. He has to ask the others for a little bit of support, but you know, he's actually killing everybody in these climbs.
He is. Pidcock staying doggedly with it. I thought momentarily there, because the foreshortening of the camera, that Ben Healy was going to go on the attack. Here comes Evenepoel. Do you know what? He's such a fantastic rider. I mean, part of his problem is the fact that Tadej Pogacar exists. Because without that, we'd be talking about him as the greatest rider on the planet. Someone like Tadej Pogacar comes along once every few lifetimes. It's been a long time since we've seen such domination, and the way he rides, not only stage races, not only world championships, but classics as well. He wants it all, and he's capable of winning it all as well, Brian.
He is. You know, there was talk about burnout, you know, after the Tour de France. I think he still has these goals in mind. I think he still would love to go back to Paris-Roubaix and try and win it, and win the Tour de France 5 times, possibly 6. He is all about, you know, records, and you know, he has to get his motivation from somewhere. But at the bottom of the climb, the gap went down to 56 seconds. At the finishing line, it went up to 107. So it just goes to show you that on the climbs, Pogacar is making a difference.
Evenepoel says, I'm out of here. If you're not going to work with me, then I'm going to work against you. And away he goes. Chalmers, Ben Healy. Tom Pidcock is disengaged by 6 or 8 seconds. We'll see whether he gets back in. There's a camera bike here, which is filming these guys. It might well offer up some kind of tunnel for Tom Pidcock to get into. Jan Christen just rounds the corner. We have Jai Hindley, also not that far in arrears, and a group that, are they thinking about a top 10? Is that good enough? Well, at the moment, that's 3 minutes down. That's going to be about the best of it, where they indeed sit within what is a very, very high-quality finishing group. Tadej Pogačar is often up front. He's got 1 minute and 3 on Evenepoel, Schelmos, Ben Healy. Tom Pidcock has just dropped 10 or 12 seconds, according to timing. We'll see whether he's back on. But Evenepoel has just been offered a turn by Healy. And it is a trio only, which means that Tom Pidcock and Jai Hindley have been trimmed off. Jan Christen in no man's land as well. Healy reaching for a gel, starting to dream about silver or bronze here. That'll be fascinating to see how these guys mix for that. Still 1 minute and 2 with 42 kilometres to go. Less than 3 laps now, Brian.
Yeah, it's an even more difficult situation. There's 3 of them, there were 5. They're still just over 1 minute down, and this man here, I think he's well in control. It might come under at 1 minute at some points, because there's 3 of them behind riding. They're riding harder in the kind of easier parts of the circuit, and that's where Pogačar will possibly ease a little bit, and then when it comes to the climbs, put the pressure on. So I think Pogačar definitely has this one. Evenepoel looks the strongest, and Schelmos and Healy are a wee bit. They're trying to hold something back, because they know that Evenepoel is going to power on all the climbs.
Well, blowing his cheeks out like Dizzy Gillespie. This is Tom Pidcock with his own chit-chat going on in his head. He's a fabulous open book, is Tom. When you ask him a question, he often ponders it and gives you a very, very honest answer. Sometimes you might not like it, but that's absolutely the mark of the man. He's very straight up and down. And at the moment, he's down by just over 10 seconds, I'm afraid. In fact, it's expanded. It's now 27, 28 seconds down on Evenepoel, Schelmos and Ben Healy. What a performance by Ben Healy as well. If he can medal here, that would be exceptional.
He's got every opportunity now, by the looks of things. You know, we were talking about Healy as an outsider contender going from distance. Well, he never got that choice, did he? Because Pogačar decided that, well, he was losing all his teammates. It was a case of 100 kilometres to go from the top of Mount Kigali. That's a long, long way, but it's just blown this race apart. That in the Muri Kigali, that small part of this course today just killed everybody.
What about Ayuso? How must he be feeling as well? He's made a decision, of course, to leave UAE Emirates. He was almost a thorn on the cactus, wasn't he? But it was ingrowing, it seemed, and it was uncomfortable for everybody. It was almost a relief to Ayuso that he found himself a contract at Legal Trek. He'll be leaving at the end of the season. It's essentially already done. He's going to do the Worlds and then the European Championships. He will take part in Lombardia for the end. I think that will draw out his time. But for next year, he will be with Little Trek, and it's a long contract as well for him. Part of the problem for Ayuso, and I suspect possibly for many in UAE Emirates, is Tadej Pogačar. He's the man that everyone has to fall in behind. And it's almost like when the king is not at the top table, then a riot breaks out as all the dukes decide to duke it out to find out who's best behind Tadej Pogačar. It's not a pleasant environment sometimes to operate within, although highly successful. And the team, UAE Emirates, they gave themselves the best chance of taking as many stage wins as they possibly could. That didn't really work out for the likes of Ayuso. It was a late call, and the disquiet came to the surface during La Vuelta, and it's left with Juan Ayuso leaving the party. Same thing, incidentally, more or less happened to Primož Roglič in Visma Leasebike. He himself found himself rubbing up against Seb Kuss and Jonas Vingegaard in a battle for a pecking order. Roglič lost out. Sepp Kuss was declared Welter champion 2 years ago, and indeed Roglic left the scene. So that's the way of it. Roglic is back here as a national support for Tadej Pogačar, and Roglic might well indeed get himself a decent finish today. He is in a chase group that is detailed at 2 minutes and 52 down. Tom Pidcock is at minute 49. You can see by the blowing out of the cheeks of Tom Pidcock that he realised his day is done. I don't think he was at his absolute best at the start. He's had a hell of a year, Tom Pidcock. Podium in the Vuelta was brilliant, and I'm not surprised that there's perhaps something missing from the tank. But at the beginning of the day, we had high hopes for him. It didn't look good, and then we started to believe. He was it was up towards the pointy end of the race. He's ebbed and flowed, but I'm afraid he has ebbed away from this chase group of 3, chasing down this man with 38, just shy of kilometres of the day remaining, and the gap is absolutely rock solid.
Yeah, he's riding at the same pace, the group behind, nothing more, nothing less. He's looking at this course and he's breaking it down. He knows where he can relax a little bit, he knows where he has to put the pressure on, and of course with the chase behind, he doesn't really have to. He's getting table service at the top table here, and he's well in control of this one. He doesn't have to push on 100%. If the gap comes down to 45 seconds, then he'll push out a little bit. So it's all controlling at the moment, and he looks nice and relaxed, and well in control of this one. These are the 3 riders battling it out for the last 2 medals. I think Tom Pidcock, you saw him there, he kind of looked back. I think he realises that I don't think he's interested in maybe finishing 5th in the World Championships. I think he's just looking at how can I get to the finish as easy as possible. He'll be looking around to see if there's 5th in the World Championships. I think he's just looking at how can I get to the finish as easy as possible. He'll be looking around to see if there's any riders coming up, and that's what sometimes happens. You don't want to be in your own. You'll look around and maybe combine with someone else to make it easier just to get round this. I can't say that there are 33 riders still in the race. The last one on the roads through the finish. I'll say that again, it's 40 now. 40 riders. Fausto Masnada is the last one across the finishing line, and more coming in. Yeah, Fausto Masnada is the 43rd rider still on the road.
Roglic group, they're now over 3 minutes down, so it's almost minute margins. Well, he was his 2.5 minute man in the time trial, was Pogačar for Remco Evenepoel. The hope of him closing this down is now just ebbed. So it looks like Pogačar, you just saw Tom Pidcock there, is at 2 minutes and 5. Unless something dramatic happens up front, I think Tom Pidcock is going to be out of the medals. But a top 5, if he was to be blessed with that, he'd probably take it. It's been an amazing season for Tom Pidcock. What about Tadej Pogačar? Well, he has some big holes in the season. He designs them in. That's not to say he doesn't go all in, and when he turns up, well, he usually wins. He won at the UAE, then went to the Strade Bianchi. He won the Strade Bianchi, had a blip in the San Remo, finished 3rd. Then he won Flanders, runner-up in Paris-Roubaix, runner-up in Amstel Gold Race. Then he won Flèche Wallonne. Then, of course, he won Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Goes to the Dauphiné, wins that. Goes to the Tour de France, wins that. Comes back for the GP Quebec, 29th. Goes to GP Montreal, 2nd. Comes to the time trial, misses out on the medals, and thinks, you know what, I need to just step it up on the farm today. It looks like he's heading for the rainbow bands, so important to him. Something you can wear every day on the road for the rest of the season. He's loved doing it. And of course, he's worn the bands as part of the Tour de France. He reminds you so beautifully.
You talk about band scarves, and I think that's an elastic band he's got in the back of his jersey there. That might have catapulted him up the Mount Kigali.
Brian is, of course, joking. He's done it all himself. Meanwhile, back in the pits, time for some contemplation. Louis Verweyker is watching. can't hear our voices coming out of his telly, and it has been a tough day for everybody. France started with some very high hopes, Brian.
Yeah, Madouas on the right-hand side, Pari Pantra there as well. It's been a real tough day for everybody, and not many people are going to finish this one, but it's where they're going to finish. Although this is a good performance from Tom Pidcock here, he's talking to Matt Bramia, the manager of the British team. He'll be wanting to know who's behind them, what, you know, with 35 kilometres left, a little bit more for Tom. Of course, Matt will want him to finish well up in the placings, but having been a world champion in other disciplines, you know, what else is there to prove? You said he's had a good season already. I would agree with that. But I think finishing fifth would be worthwhile, and I think that's what Matt Brammer is trying to say. Just keep on going, try and get the best out of this, because he's absolutely in no man's land at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. And Coronapol kicking on. There's a few getting a bit animated. One saying he's always going to blame someone else or something when he's lacking. He was dropped on the climb, not good enough today, the end. Well, he's picked himself up, as Remco, and I actually really enjoy his honesty to himself. He shows his emotions, Brian, but yet underneath all of that prickliness is it's like a prickly pear. It's so sweet on the inside. He's just a genuinely nice guy, is Remco Evenepoel. Has said himself, he's almost been dropped into greatness. I think sometimes expectation levels are absolutely enormous, and he bears it well. Inside there's a really nice guy who turns himself into a predator, and he suffers, I think, the brickbats that a professional sporting life can actually offer up to you on occasion. And he lets his emotions come through, and how nice is that to see? We don't want to watch robots, Brian, and for him to come through and be in a potential medaling position, if he gets silver, that will be an amazing achievement considering the ill fortune that he's had today.
Well, his former sport was football. I'm not saying he's going to score the winning goal today, but I think what he's done today is shown us that no matter where you are in sports, that if everything is going against you, you have to keep on going, keep on trying, and hopefully the tide will turn, and you know, it has turned. Okay, he's not going to be winning the race today, but to go through what he has gone through in quick succession, getting dropped, that doesn't help. And then having the mechanical, changing the bike, having to wait for the bike, the car not being quick enough there because of the different groups when it was all kind of kicking off. It just happened at the wrong time. The shaking of the head, just everything wasn't going his way. But somewhere, whether it was from the car or from the side of the road or within, he's turned it around, and that's kind of testament to a true champion. When everything's going against you, you get bounced up, shake yourself down, and focus again and what the goal is. The goal is obviously for everybody to try and win the world title, even for Evenepoel, but he's gone down fighting today, and he's going to try and get a medal, and I still believe by the looks of things he could be getting silver.
That would be truly amazing. He's up against very accomplished Mandy Schelmos. We'll see whether Ben Healy's got something left in the tank. We always say that about Ben Healy. He can quite often look slightly ragged. You think surely he's on the absolute limit, and then he produces some magic. There's still a minute, and by our old rule of thumb, that should be closable, especially with 3 chasing 1 and 32 kilometres to go. But that one, where's number 1? And he has been just about in every race he's taken part in. It's Tadej Pogačar. Brian, you just can't catch him. We believe in this gap, and we believe it might well be sustained, possibly even extended. He may well take some time to celebrate at the end of the day. Unless something strange happens, and I hope that that is not the case. You can chuck a chain at any moment, you can suffer a puncture, you can get the hunger knock as well, which we have seen. And this man will be cueing the Jaws music if indeed anything happens to Tadej Pogačar. Wouldn't wish it upon him. He's an amazing rider. Some people say that, and I often get asked, isn't it a shame that Tadej Pogačar is dominating everything? And I say, look, you've just got to enjoy it, because these kind of eras don't come around very often. They talk about him, even Eddie Merckx talks about him as the new Merckx. And you can say, I saw him, I witnessed him, I enjoyed, or indeed endured, whatever it is, you have to have an opinion. And Tadej Pogačar, he sets the tone.
I don't think anybody loves dominance in any sport.
Well, you want to see a battle.
But he's dominating in different ways. One-day races.
Yep.
I wouldn't say he dominated the kind of cobbled classics, but you know, he did look good. So he's such a versatile rider. You know, he does epic rides like this. Yeah, when he went, there was 100 kilometres to go, and then all of a sudden, was about 70 odd kilometres to go, he goes solo. If we were concentrating on Pogačar, it gives us commentators not a lot to talk about. Just one rider. But
good job we managed, Adrian.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's incredible what he's done, and you know, will continue to do. But for us, there's still a way to go to the finishing line for these guys. 3 of them, 2 medals. I think Pidcock's definitely gone. He might get collected by some of the riders behind, but it's just a matter of just getting to the finish for a lot of these riders now, and it must be tempting just to climb off a lap to go, because what else is it to get out? 30th or 35th or 25th place. But you know, Ireland, Denmark, Belgium, all within short of a medal today. Who's going to be in the podium? It's clear that Evenepoel was the strongest in this group here. He's doing a lot of work, but this gap going up 1:14, and it looks as if it's going to be an easier ride for Pogačar than it was last year.
If indeed you could call this course anything but. It is remarkable, and so is this performance, and as you say, it's stretched out to 1 minute and 14. Wollongong in 2022 was when Remco Evenepoel himself became World Road Race Champion. He is, of course, multiple times, 3 times consecutively, time trial World Champion after securing that amazing feat here. The man he passed on the road during the time trial was Tadej Pogačar himself. He found 2.5 minutes in course, finished ahead of him. Well, today, those roles are reversed. Pogačar, indeed, faded to 4th place out of the medals in the time trial once the clock had stopped upon him. Not good enough for gold, but this was the big target. And it looks like he may have hit the bullseye from distance. It was a big bore performance in terms of riflery, if indeed that is a word. But no longer part of the Olympic program, because the distances involved in big bore shooting were just so vast. 3 football pitches laid end to end and a target the size of an apple. No scopes allowed. You just had to aim for glory and pull the trigger. And that is exactly what Tadej Pogačar has done from 100 kilometres out. He went solo with 70 after Del Toro faded. He'd seen off Ayuso, and he's seen off absolutely everybody. He's holding a margin of 1 minute and 16 back to this trio, Evenepoel, Chelmos and Ben Healy. I mean, the quality of the chase, apart from anything else, but moreover, those who he has seen off Tadej Pogačar. It's going to be a battle for the medals for these guys, because the gap that they hold on those behind them is now magnified. The Roglic group is nearly 4 minutes down, Brian.
Yeah, there's not going to be many people finishing this World Champion. I think that was predicted anyway. Such a difficult course. It was just surprising to see the Pogačar going from 100 kilometres out, and I think the reason was he lost quite a lot of teammates on that climb and decided to kind of test it out. He was hoping that Del Toro would have been able to stay with him. He did try to kind of nurse him through at one point, kind of waited on him, but there's only so much you can do, and he's pushed on, and you know, he's got 120 now, well in control of this World Championships.
Anybody else would say a minute and 20. This is still up for grabs with just shy of 29 kilometres to go. But it isn't just anybody, is it? It's Tadej Pogačar. And when he's in this kind of mood from this kind of distance and after this kind of day, he's in his element, Brian.
Yeah, clear that he wants to keep a hold of that world title. Won it last year. It was quite difficult to watch at times. He went through some tough times in front on his own, and such is the nature of these kind of one-day races now, that a lot of these riders going from distance, and this man is not shy of trying to go from distance. He's just getting some support from the car, as you would, and they must be loving it as well. Such a small nation, but such a big nation in cycling. Decided last year that he wasn't going to go to the Olympics. His partner wasn't selected, so he decided that, well, if you're not selecting her, I'm not going either.
I wonder what the selectors thought of that.
Still struggling, Remco Evenepoel there. You could see the facial expression. Just what else could I have done? It kind of went against me today. I was through a real bad patch there. Nothing was going well for me, and what else can I do? I can't catch this man here. I can't go for the world title, but I think he's keeping his demons at bay, and you know, trying best by his team, and I think his team are demanding that he gets a medal today, and that medal should be silver.
Well, as it stands, it won't be a medal for Tom Pidcock, but what a brave ride. 3 minutes and 36 down. Haven't seen Jai Hindley for a while, neither Jan Christen, and indeed we wait to see as they cross the line. The Roglic group will come through. Giulio Ciccone still up there with Seixas and Sivakov, I believe. Tom Squinch is bravely holding on, possibly. Knowing Tom Squinch, you'd be looking for a top 10 position, and that would be worthy of the man. He's been a great rider. By the way, well worth following on social media. There's a wonderful sense of fun about him, Tom Squinch, the man from Latvia. Well, he's carrying his rather fetching burgundy-coloured jersey. Along is the 34-year-old, now reaching that point within his career where we start to talk about turning leaves. Well, we are in the autumn. We found where the swallows have gone to winter up. But these guys here in Rwanda are thinking about sharing the spoils and something else that will shine brightly, and that will be a silver or a bronze medal. No shame in that. It's just a shame, in a sense, that one of these guys, by the looks of things, is going to miss out on a medal.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. It would be nice, of course, for Remco to say, well, I've been a world champion, I've been on the podium, I'm currently a world champion.
No.
Well, there you go, there's silver and bronze, but he's not going to do that. I know that they are going to fight it out, and I think Remco would be the best, but like you say, it's either Healy or Skelmos that are going to miss out on being on the podium. I can say that Jai Hindley is about 30 seconds behind Pidcock on the road in 6th place, and then we've got a group of 10 riders. Ciccone, Seixas, Eulalio, Del Toro, Roglic, Sivakov, Jan Christian, Tejada, Honoré, Squinch and Ayuso, and they're at just over 5 minutes, so they're about 40 odd seconds behind Jai Hindley.
Well, I reckon we've got about 35, possibly 40 minutes to go of this effort. Depends on how...
What else do you know about Pogačar?
I know an awful lot about Tadej Pogačar, and you know what? It is just a basket of the impressive. I mean, I remember when I wrote my first book, Magic Spanner, and we were talking about some of the dominance, and things come in waves, and we were talking about the wave, of course, of British riders. Still enjoying some of those waves. Of course, reaching the shore, but it was almost a tsunami of success, it seemed, from Great Britain. And there was a cycling nation, of course, in Slovenia that are absolutely nuts about all things cycling. And it was the only language that translated my book into their home language. And it was really nice when I liaised with the person who was doing the translation. And we spoke about the great riders that Slovenia had, of course, as well. And at that time, of course, primary in our thoughts was Primož Roglič, and of course, the likes of Matej Mohoric and Luka Bezget, etc. And the editor said, "And what about Tadej Pogačar?" I said, "Oh, the youngster," because he was such a kid at the time. And he said, "Yeah, we all think that he's going to be the greatest ever." And I didn't chuckle or anything, but the belief that had washed over from his performances, even as a sub-junior at club level, was so exceptional. Koeva de Paul just apologising, didn't mean to get out of shape in the corner there. It wasn't about upsetting the apple cart of the trio that are chasing. But yeah, they talked about me in glowing terms, and of course everything they said about him came to be. That was well before any of the successes, the racing successes, of which he's had so much, came to pass. He's 27 years of age now, Tadej Pogačar, and it seems like he's been around for decades, but he hasn't, Brian. And it's not over yet, this story.
No, not at all. I think one of the first times I covered the Crow race, the Tour of Croatia, and I was tipped off by a few kind of local people that, you know, look out for this young lad called Pogačar. He did okay, not brilliant. And then, of course, a couple of weeks later, he went on and won the Tour of l'Avenir. And that gives us a little bit of a guide. But even then, I think he's just progressed very, very quickly through the ranks. And I think at the moment, he's in his pomp. The only weakness I've seen this year was burnout mentally. He addressed that this morning in an interview, saying that he was more than good when it comes to the mentality. Physically, he was good. I don't think he was too worried about the time trial. He said at the time, maybe if he'd have known he was within, you know, a couple of seconds of the bronze medal, he might have, you know, tried that a little bit harder. But he does what he does as long as he keeps kind of focused on the goals that he wants and enjoys what he does, because there must be a certain element that you need to have your downtime. You need to have time to enjoy yourself. I know that he does train with just white kit on or black kit on. He doesn't want to be kind of recognised, because when you're a superstar like him, and cycling is #1 sport across many countries, are up there with football, gets recognised everywhere. And you've seen a little bit of that when you're working with Sean Kelly. All he wants to do is go out, spend time with his partner, Ursula, and just have a normal life. But I don't think he can have a normal life because of what he does in cycling.
Campaign Against Genocide Museum, and the building itself showing some of the scars which have been left to remind us of the conflicts that took place here. I don't know whether these indeed impact marks are indeed recreated, or it doesn't matter. Quite a sight indeed. And a reminder of the dark times that have passed over this nation back in 1994, but also acting as almost a pivot, how this nation has renewed itself and brought such joy to the world of cycling. And you come here and miles of smiles. They call it the land of 1,000 hills, but 1,000 smiles as well. And we have had such fun as far as this amazing World Championship is concerned, and we thank the good people of Kigali in particular. of Rwanda, most definitely, and the UCI for taking the decision to bring it to Africa for the first time. It has been an amazing festival. This day as well, although it seems set, you just never know, but let's see how it pans out over the next 20 kilometres or so. Tadej Pogačar, well, his first real big noise that he made when he beat the drum was the Tour de l'Avenir, as Brian was mentioning, back in 2018. And look at the riders who are around him as part of that cohort. Arnsman, Mada, Vlasov, Champuzan, Souza, Almeida, Dunbar. You know, these are proper rivals, yet he maintains.
Just one thing, just as you're going through that, Arnsman is the last man in the road at 8 minutes and 56 seconds in 31st place.
There you go. So the top two back then in 2018. When he was still a teenager, I can't remember whether he was 18 or 19, Tadej Pogačar, back then. Right now he's 27. And in fact, he's only just turned 27. That was, a week ago today, actually. So it wasn't much of a birthday when it came to the individual time trial. But boy, oh boy, he's blown the candles out today, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was 20 when he won the Tour de l'Avenir. So, but even just before that, he was showing signs when he was 18, 19.
In Ljubljana.
Yeah, he wasn't like Remco was. Remco, I think, was a little bit better when he was younger, because he was winning everything at junior. He went to Junior Worlds, but here he goes. He's off for silver.
I'm out of here. This is a silver medal up for grabs, and I don't want passengers anymore. Now then, 1 minute and 17. Let's see what happens to this gap, shall we? Because this, essentially, is going to be a 20-kilometre time trial by Remco Evenepoel to limit the damage and the gap that he has suffered in this race at the hands of Tadej Pogačar. Fabulous. Lights up the blue touch paper and goes the light blue touch paper, I think you might say. That's not an instruction, that's a colour. Meanwhile, what about this pairing? One of them right now is thinking, well, does it have to be bronze? And it looks like that. Think of it as rose gold, and you can kick on, but kicking dust in the face of those around him. Remco Evenepoel, he's dug in for a little bit of glory. Runner-up in the road race and time trial world champion. I think you probably take that after all the difficulties that he has suffered. And the gap comes down. He finds very short order, 11 seconds. So here we go. Maybe we have got a battle on our hands for the very title. He's got 19 kilometres to get back at Tadej Pogačar, who I believe has not been going fully all in for the time being. He'll kick on if there's a danger of Evenepoel getting close, but it's going to be fascinating watching this one play out.
So he said in the time trial it takes 2.5 minutes back. He's only a minute behind. It's a different scenario in a road race, but did you see that Skelmos and Ben Healy? No reaction at all.
Couldn't do it. Could not do it. Well, the time trial, don't forget, was over a distance of 40 kilometres. This is half that distance. Well, if you can find half the time that he gained, he will still do it.
So he's going to win by 4 minutes?
No. He's got to, he's going to, let's see, Tadej Pogačar's time deficit on the day was 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes 37. He's got half the distance to do it, half of 2 minutes and 37, minute and 15. He might win it by 10 seconds if he repeats the feat. Let's wait and see. Some very rudimentary maths there. Sorry for the bruises on the paper because of my pencil. It's just snapped. Meanwhile, so is this man's mood. He is going for it, and I'm loving this. This is where all he has to do, he has to rekindle his time trial mode, get into that place where he parks the pain and just digs in. We thought that Tadej Pogačar might be winning this by about 1.5 minutes. It doesn't look like that may well be the case right now. We'll see how dialed in Pogačar. Any kind of margin will be good enough for him. As it stands, Pogačar has responded to Evenepoel's attack. Don't know how he's getting the information. There will be a car close at hand, I feel certain. But it's 1.7 minutes between them. Here's Tadej Pogačar. He's going to come up to take the bell once he's dealt with these cobbles, Brian.
Yeah, and it's, you know, a bell that we'll be looking forward to here. 107 back to Evenepoel. He'll know that, but his fans are out, he's in great spirits, and I think he's going to go round this final lap and take victory. But, you know, hats off to Evney Paul for keep on going after what he's had to bear with today. But I don't think there's any way of coming back to this man here. He just looks as if he's in total control.
Absolutely remarkable. Pogačar sailing away. The Roglic group, by the way, is now detailed at over 5 minutes. There's Tom Pidcock actually at 5 minutes, possibly even further back. Tom may well find himself as part of that Roglic group. Telmos and Healy are now at a minute 25, a minute and 7 back to Remco Evenepoel from Tadej Pogačar, who's out front and is now just engaged in the climb. It's a climb that may well see a little bit of an expanding of the gap between Remco Evenepoel here as he hits the cobbles. Had already made a smooth gear change before he even reached them. Last thing he needs now is to get another technical. He's had enough technical issues today. He's probably bruised his own time. And they're cheering, chanting, Poggy, Poggy, Poggy. Tadej Pogačar fans seemingly everywhere. They're in good voice, good spirits, and you can understand why. He looks like a world champion in waiting. He'll take the bell and he'll have one lap to complete.
Yeah, you can also see the Belgian fans cheering as well. It's, you know, that they're cheering something very special and someone very special. He maybe never won the time trial, but you know he's going to win this road race hands down, going from a longer distance than anybody in history has ever gone.
Quite remarkable. Well, there you are, a minute and 9 now. We thought there might be a little bit of an expansion on the climb. Evenepoel, though, is going for silver. I guarantee you, when he gets to the podium, he will offer warmest congratulations to Tadej Pogačar, if indeed it all draws to a close. Still got a lap to go in that order. Evenepoel will realise what a great ride he has done for silver, and of course taken the time trial title as well. Not the road race this time, because the road is owned by Tadej Pogačar.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gold and silver in the two events he comes to in the World Championships. You know, I don't think, you know, anyone's done that in recent years as well. So he is a battler. He did look as if he threw his toys out a little bit, but he gathered them up again and thought, right, no, I'm better than this. And you don't often see that in races. Normally when riders' heads go, it's very difficult to turn that around, especially when you're having to change bikes, and what he's had to deal with it. But the biggest blow came, I think, in the Mount Kigali when he got dropped. That's a big blow for when you think that you're a major contender to win and you're getting dropped. After all the effort his team made today to ride, and they did more work than Slovenia did, let's be honest here. But when you're up against this man here, it made me laugh when I heard Vingegaard saying, well, if I wasn't in the Pogačar area, I'd be winning 5 Tour de France's. Yeah, that made me chuckle a little bit. You know, Pogačar said, oh, I would have won my second world title if it wasn't for Pogačar. You have to deal with what's in front of you, and unfortunately for everybody, if I was born in another era, I might have won many races. Can't think like that. So, Evenepoel, the two big favourites of the day, are on their own, and they're getting plenty of encouragement from the fantastic and probably best crowd at the side of the roads.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, it's been a festival of cycling, that's for sure, and we've already offered up our thanks, but we add to that our sheer appreciation of what's involved in bringing something like this to the table. The UCI do it year in, year out, and they've provided another magnificent competition, and a brave decision, some might say, to bring it to Africa, and it's been paid back 10,000-fold, I think, by some amazing fans, and a wonderful welcome, brilliantly organised, and indeed a potential magnificent history-making title being taken by the defending champion Tadej Pogačar. Comes to the line, he takes the bell, and so will start his victory lap. How wonderful is that? He can spend time thinking how on earth he's going to celebrate, Brian, without technical. We don't want any of that getting involved. As it stands, the clock is ticking against Remco Evenepoel. It's red, of course, for everyone behind this man, dressed in green, green from go, and he went with 100 kilometres to go.
It's mind-boggling when you consider what both of these riders are doing. It's, you know, to go from 100 kilometres to go. Okay, you had Del Toro, but for the last 100 kilometres, he's been averaging around about 42 kilometres an hour. But you try and ride along a road and see how long you can manage to do that on your own.
I've done it. It's about 3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes. So that tailwind through the park in your Brompton.
That's right. Pretty good downhill as well at those speeds, but yes. You meant on the flat. Or maybe varied terrain. Yeah. Amazing. And look at the flags of nations that have come here to fate the greats. And Remco Evenepoel is one of the greats. Double Olympic champion, treble world time trial champion, former road race champion. Not going to be this time, and he still looks angry.
Yeah, he still looks angry and still looks as if he's suffering as well. It's going to be disappointment for one of these riders. You know, for me, Denmark have had success. Probably Ireland have had good success, but maybe not as much as Denmark over the years. But this is going to be intriguing to see what happens. Of course, my granddad being Irish, I would favour the Irish, but I think both of these riders deserve it. You cannot split a bronze medal. And in fact, it has happened before, Carlton. Can you remember?
It was a long time ago, and wasn't it between... Oh, no, sorry, I'm thinking of a split in Flanders, which was a double declaration. Go on, then.
Geelong.
That's right.
Under 23.
Yeah, dead heat.
Michael Matthews won.
Yeah.
John Degenkolb was second. And Taylor Finney and Guillaume Bovan shared the bronze medal.
Yeah, didn't go down to thousands, and they couldn't split them.
Yeah, they couldn't split them.
Yeah, there you go.
So maybe we could organise that for Denmark and Ireland, what do you think?
It's hard. You can only almost achieve that by accident, quite frankly, on the photos. If they can't split you up by 1,000th of a second, it's a dead heat. 2 bronze medals. I guess they had to find one or chop one in half. Meanwhile, I saved the last time. It's Danny Bogacar up front. I've got a bit of a tick, as you may well have heard. I say meanwhile too often. I need to iron it out. Meanwhile, flattening this course is Danny Bogacar. And here we are, 43 kilometres per hour. Brian, he's been so consistent. Not only throughout his career, of course, but particularly today, when he's taken on the duty of imposing himself, he's done it brilliantly.
Yeah, he's got a sticker on his bike. I think it's the Incredible Hulk, and he has been that today. But looking at him there, this is not going to be easy. We were trying to put it in perspective there, at averaging 42 kilometres an hour at altitude in this humidity, over this distance. You know, you mentioned everything. It's incredible. It's not a flat course today as well, so he's grimacing. I'm looking forward to the interviews afterwards, because this hasn't been easy. It looks easy. You know, 100 kilometres ago, I tell you what, I'm going to give it a go. I tell you what, Del Toro, stay with me. I will look after you. He's been super today. Remco, well, there's been quite a few things thrown at him. He's still there. He's still, he'll probably finish a minute and a half down. Second place, winner of the time trial. It's been nice to see his fight from the adversity. That's all I'm going to say. And then for the bronze medal, well, Denmark against Ireland, everybody else is out of it because, you know, they're over 5 minutes down. The two of them came into these championships as two kind of ranked outsiders. You see Serge Pauwels just giving Evenepoel plenty of encouragement. You still have to try and believe that something can happen, but silver medal and a gold medal, you'd have that all day long for Belgium.
Certainly would. Just trying to remind myself, because I can't, before we actually start, I always mark up the riders as to what I think their effectiveness would be. And I was trying to see if, when I pondered it last night, how far ahead I had either Chelmers or indeed Healy from each other. And I had Ben Healy as a higher ranking, to be honest. Giving him 3 stars and 2 for Chelmers. Chelmers was my big choice out of Denmark. And I've got to say that Ben Healy, of course, was my choice for Ireland. But I gave 3 stars to Ben Healy and just the 2 to Chelmers. And I don't think it was my own gene pool speaking to me here, because my very name is Danish, actually. A Carrollton means somebody from a free settlement, so a free man in Danish. There you go. So there's that, but also got Irish genes as well. But I don't think that entered into it. Ben Healy has been such a fantastic terrier and a great servant of the sport. It's been brilliant to watch him delivering. But yeah, likewise, Chelmers, fabulously entertaining and a good ride.
Byose ni kuri Nyirangarama.
Aho turi hose tumwagasha ibanga ry'akabanga horiva yo mu mabanga y'imisozi iteze neza.
Byose ni kuri Nyirangarama.
ntibumva ko kubyuka mu gitondo kare bigoye kurira ibirometero magana kugira ngo urebe kudasigara ndetse no kurwana n'amajwi yo mu mutwe adahagarara akubwira ati rekera ntabwo warenza aha, ariko ibyo byose ntihagire na kimwe kiguhagarika gukomeza kuko intsinzi izanwa no kuruhuka bihagije kandi neza. Rwanda Farm, kanga ukomeze nk'igihangange. Ku bindi bisobanuro hamagara 0788 30 02 cyangwa 0788 30 75 32. Rwanda Farm, le paradis du matelas. Rwanda Farm, matela nyarwanda.
Murakaza neza muri St Joseph Integrated Technical College Nyamirambo, ishuri rikuru ry'abihaye Imana b'abafurere b'aba Josephite. Abarangije amashuri yisumbuye mwashyizwe igorora kuko uretse icyiciro cya mbere Advanced Diploma cyari kihasanzwe, mwazaniwe n'icyiciro cya kabiri Bachelor's Degree mu mashami abiri mashya ariyo Bachelor of Technology in Information Technology na Bachelor in Construction Technology. Amahitamo na yawe kuko ushobora kwiga ku manywa ibizwi nka day program cyangwa se ukiga muri gahunda ya nimugoroba evening program. St Joseph Integrated Technical College Nyamirambo bafite umwihariko w'abarimu b'indashyikirwa, ibyumba by'amashuri byiza kandi bigezweho, amasomero y'ibitabo, ibyumba by'ikoranabuhanga, laboratoire na workshops zifasha abanyeshuri mu masomo n'ubushakashatsi. Abarangije iwacu mwifuza gukomereza mu cyiciro cya kabiri mu masomo ya Bachelor of Technology, mushonje muhishuwe kuko imyanya yanyu yateganyijwe. Amafaranga y'ishuri yo nimuhangayike kuko ibiciro byoroheye buri wese. Amasomo azatangira kuwa 29 Nzeri 2025 ndetse kwiyandikisha byaratangiye ku cyicaro cy'iri shuri i Nyamirambo mu mujyi wa Kigali neza imbere y'urukiko rw'ubucuruzi. Ku bisobanuro birambuye mwasura urubuga WA1 SJITC /ACHA/RAWA cyangwa mugahamagara kuri telefone 0782 30 65 93. Hari na 0783 12 77 28. St Joseph Integrated Technical College Nyamirambo, turi imbangukana bigituka bigisubizo mu bwubatsi n'ikoranabuhanga.
Reka twongere tugaruke muri UCI 2025 World Championship. Reka twizere komeze neza, turimo turagana mu birometero 6 n'ibice bya nyuma kugira ngo turebe ninde ugomba kwegukana shampiyona y'isi y'amagare 2025. Tadej Pogačar umunya Slovania ni buri imbere, harabura amasegonda make, harabura ibirometero cyo kugira ngo soze shampiyona ari imbere, aho arimo arasiga chest yobowe n'uwitwa Evenepoel, aho ari inyuma ho umunota umwe n'abasegonda hafi 30 aho amuri inyuma, ariko bese bishyira n'ubundi ibirometero bya nyuma ko uwitwa Tadej Pogačar yegukana iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare bayita Didier kabisa ntabwo nakurira harabura amasegonda make cyane nova kugira ngo witwa Tadej Pogacar kugira ngo yegukane shampiyona y'isi y'amagare 2025
nkuko nabivugaga Didier nari nabikubwiye ndakubwira nkubwira ko
yatangiye kuzamuka minagi
nari nabikubwiye nkubwira ko iyo uyu mugabo yageze mu rometero
ni nziza
ni nzima cyane meze neza kabisa nari nabikubwiye nkubwira ko uyu mugabo bita Tadej iyo ageze mu birometero 50 aba ameze nk'intare iri gushaka inyama ni hahandi bagenzi be
abanikira urabona n'abatoza nabo barimo barishima bavuga bati
babishimye cyane
we can umunota umwe n'amasegonda 27 hagati y'uwitwa Tadej ndetse na Evan Powell nta nubwo aratangira kuzamuka undi arimo arazamuka minagiri ariko aracyari ariko ni kuri ari hafi ariko
aracyari kuri
birasa nkaho byarangiye Tadej agomba kuyegukana ahubwo kude chapeau kuri Evan Powell nawe wagerageje umuje w'inyuma ho gato cyane ariko ibi ngibi niko turabyiteze mbere ko shampiyona ijya gutangira twaravugaga ngo aba bombi bagomba kugabana nimero ya mbere nimero ya kabiri ninde ugomba kuzegukana individual time trial ninde uzatwara shampiyona y'isi y'amagare kuko tuzi ko ibintu bigomba kuba
bibaho ubwo rero Didier buriya kwa kangahe ku munsi wa mbere shampiyona y'isi itangira abantu twari turi kumwe narabibabwiye ati nturebe ibintu uyu mwana bitaramaka akoreye Tadej azabimwishyura nawe rero nibyamukoze urabona ko yamukubise inshuro mu by'ukuri umuntu wagufasha akagusiga iminota 20 uretse ko urabona kiri kugabanuka bimaze kugera minota 1:28 ari kugenda agabanuka ariko mu by'ukuri ahangaha biragaragara ko uwitwa Tadej Pogacar agomba kubagira gute
iyo chest ya gatatu turimo bitwa ba Heri ndetse n'abitwa ba Skremonas harimo witwa na Igira neza umunota umwe n'amasegonda 25 kugira ngo turebe ninde wegukana shampiyona y'isi y'amagare abantu miliyoni 330 bose baritegereje kureba ngo ninde wegukana shampiyona y'isi y'amagare akaba ari shampiyona ikoranga mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda abanyarwanda ku mihanda bari bishimiye cyane ugiye kubashimisha cyangwa se bashimisha cyane no wohe buriya individual time trial ntago abantu bayirebaho cyane ibyo kuvuga ngo individual time trial kuba equipe y'ibihugu nta muntu birebaho icyo twese dushaka kureba ni road race
cyane rero nako bimeze urabona ko abantu bari ku muhanda mu by'ukuri nurera n'ubwitabire bw'uyu munsi abantu babona ko baje ari benshi baje kwirebera igare ngo ku kintu gihare Didier kare nahoze mvuga ko abantu bose batangiranye na shampiyona y'isi y'amagare ubwitabire bwari buri hejuru bigeze hariya bakwiye gushimirwa
cyane rwose ubwo ngubwo dushimira abafatanyabikorwa turi kumwe nabo turi kumwe na Rwanda Fomo turi kumwe kandi na Sina Gerard Entreprise Urwibutso turi kumwe na kimwe mu bigo byiza birangaha mu mujyi wa Kigali bakita Saint Joseph Integrated Technical College
hari
Nyamirambo abanyarwanda ngira ngo bararyoheye n'isiganwa harabura rero ibirometero hafi 4 na metero 700 kugira ngo turebe ninde ugiye kwegukana shampiyona y'isi y'amagare ya 2025
ibirometero 4 n'ibice 6
ngo ni metero 600 kugira ngo turebe ngo ninde ugiye kwegukana
iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare yari iri kubera hano i Kigali ndetse muri Afrika ninde ugiye gukora amateka yo kuba yatwara iyi shampiyona y'isi yabereye hano muri Afrika ari ubwa mbere ikaba yabera hano i Kigali ubwo abantu bose barategereje cyane
yegukanye Olympic Games 2020 bamwita Tadej Pogacar yegukana shampiyona y'isi y'amagare umwaka ushize 2024 ariko izikurikiye na Tour de France kugeza ubu rero arahabwa amahirwe yo kwegukana ni shampiyona y'isi y'amagare umunya Slovania yatangiye ari muri peloton ari mu gikundi cy'abakenyi rwose ubona ko nta gahunda bafite ariko hasigaye rape 5 za nyuma
hafi 6
uyu mukinnyi nibwo rwose yahise yereka abandi icyo
bakita igihandura
hanga niko twabyita
icyo bita kwereka umuntu mu bworo bw'ikirenge niko cyera twabivugaga hari ukuntu twajyaga dukina hagati
uko mibona uwitwa Evan Powell arimo arakata hano Kimihurura amanuka asa nkaho ari gukata inyuma n'ubundi y'inyubako ndende yitwa KBC hanyuma abandi bakinnyi bakurikiyeho baracyari ahanga arimo arakata rwose hafi no kuri za ambasade ya Misiri aracyari inyuma cyane ariko uwitwa Tadej Pogacar amanuka kuri ribu
nimero ya mbere
rw'intare harari mu rw'intare sha
hafi no mu rw'iwanyu
harari mu rw'intare kabisa
niko iyi niyo nimero ya mbere ku isi
ndamuzi yes amanuka cyane kabisa agera hitwa Kimicanga mbere ko agera kwa Rasta itakata zamuka Medihir
yanikira abandi cyane ibi bintu
Tadej Pogacar mukandi ahita muririmba indirimbo ye kabisa iri mu buryo bw'amapiano
ibi bintu asanzwe azi kubikora abantu benshi bari kwibaza ngo ese ni igiki cyamufashije asanzwe azi kubikora kuko nitureba
urabona ko uwitwa Tadej Pogacar amaze gukata zamuka Medihir
yiruka
ibirometero 2 bya nyuma ibirometero 2 bya nyuma
ese birashoboka ko witwara amako yigeze kumufatira ahangaha turabyibuka mu minsi yashize birashoboka ko yaza akaba yayikuramo
ari batangiranye ari bazamukanye
aya
have
nyamara harimo ya minota 3 yo gutangira
none se ko arimo arakata atari yajyana no kuri ribu
abantu bose
ntabwo aragera ku cyiciro gikuru cya ribu
ndabona ari gutereka
yamaze kuzamuka Tadej Pogacar
ndabona kiri gutereka iminota ndabona kiri gutereka amasegonda yirukanka cyane ari kuzamuka umusozi nk'uzamuka
asoje kano gasozi hari amasegonda niyo yaba ari 30 kuhita amanuka hariya ku kintu cyitwa sprint ntabwo ntekereza ko Pogacar yaba adafite sprint iri ku rwego rwo hejuru nk'iyo uwitwa Remoruka afite hariho amasegonda 30 hasigaye sprint ntabwo yaba kimufashe
ikintu gihari
akwereka umunyururu w'igare arimo aragenda hariya kabisa
akwereka rwose mu bworo bw'ikirenge ubwo rero ku kintu gihari akina abanyarwanda bagomba kwamenya ahangaha witwa Tadej Pogacar ahangaha iyo amaze kubona ko yamaze kukwanikira asigara ari kurwana no gukora amateka gukora amateka nta kindi natwaye shampiyona y'isi ndusha abantu bandi inyuma cyangwa ndusha umuntu ndi inyuma amasegonda
ubu tuvugana uwitwa Remorque nawe nkuko ari kwibona kuri screen n'ubundi nawe agiye gutangira gukata azamuka Medihir Remorque Van Power amaze kusa nkaho manika amaboko
oya yakuye amaboko
nkaho yemeye
yakuye amaboko ariko kuri uyu mwana bitaramako abantu bakwiye gushima cyane kuko wabibonye ko igare rigeze kumupfiraho mu by'ukuri byari byageze muri cya gihe cy'igihiriri batangiye kwicagura
urabona ko abanya-Slovania batangiye kugenda bakoma amashyi bavuga ati
uyu nawe mu kanya yari arimo
twabikoze aba bavuyemo hariya baragenda bakambara ukagira ngo baje gufana rwose nk'umuntu uvamo kuri rape ya mbere
ariko byo hari nawe rape ya mbere itagira
abanyarwanda ubu ngubu bicaye ashobora gukora nk'uwatashye cyangwa se yavuye no muri kampu
hari n'abagiye kwifatira ntuze kabisa icyayi hanze
uwitwa Tadej Pogacar
azamuka cyane
umunota umwe n'amasegonda urabona ko nako uwitwa Remorque mu kuzamuka ari mwiza cyane kuruta Pogacar ahita akuraho amasegonda
ariko nawe nibijya nawe mu gitambika urabona ko
abari hasi cyane
witwa Tadej aramusha cyane ubwo rero bikaza kugira gute wa mwanya yasize mu kuzamuka akaza kuwukuramo mu kizamuka
cyane kabisa
mbona bishobora no kuza kurangira uwitwa Ramako aje kurushwa byibuza aje kurushwa umunota umwe n'amasegonda 30 nk'uko arimo
birashoboka cyane harabura kilometero kimwe na metero 400 kugira ngo asoze kuko agiye kubirandura y'amatafari nangwa amatafari y'amapave yose ahita yasoza aratuvugana yamaze no kurenga kuri cya kigo
ubwo bivuze ko ari mu muhanda n'ubundi ari mu muhanda we bamaze kumwitira
ahantu hazamuka kugira ngo wemere abari ku kilometero 23 ku isaha
abayirukanka cyane
ahantu hazamuka
ubwo bivuze ngo ahangaha uyu muvuduko ari kugenderaho bya byuma byose byahana i Kigali ubwo ndavuga ku bantu bafite imodoka bari kubyumva cyane ubaye udafite imodoka byagorana nagusobanurira ariko bya byuma byose biri kugira gute biri kugenda bikubita biri kugenda bimyasa
bashyiramo amapiyano twinjire gake
mu kanya rwose turaza kuba tugira gute tugenda tubyiniye intsinzi oya ibyo simbibasha
Tadej tuvugana arabura kilometero imwe yuzuye kuko ubu tuvugana
yamaze kugenda yipangura
yayikuyemo yamaze kwinjira ari munsi urabona yamaze ari munsi y'icyicaro
Edidi kera hari
ari munsi ya ministeri y'ingabo
ndahabona cyane
Tadej Pogacar asiga mu metero 650
urabona ibyishimo afite
na gatanu
Edidi urabona ibyishimo afite
agenda ku minota 1 amasegonda 31 aho utinye urabona asigamo 31 amasegonda 31 kweri
nibyo navugaga nagatambika cyane abayirukanga cyane
Tadej Pogacar
ego
umunya Slovania
yongera gukora amateka
yongera kwandika amateka nyuma yo kwegukana shampiyona y'isi 2024 akaba uwa gatatu muri individual time trial y'iyi shampiyona y'isi y'amagare ubu ngubu rero abanyarwanda bose abari kuri Kigali Convention Center abakurikiye Shine Up TV abakurikiye PACIS TV
metero
miliyoni 330 zikurikiye shampiyona y'isi y'amagare bose kuri mwambaro w'icyatsi Tadej Pogacar
arebe
azamuka gake n'abasize cyane turi kuri tele
oya nibyo
turi kuri tele
Bugaca
Tadej Pogacar akoresha amasaha 6 iminota 20 ikigenda yiyongera Tadej Pogacar kude chapeau kuri we Tadej Pogacar Benise ari kuri timu Rwanda ko mbona
ahise yifata
uwitwa Pasereka abanyarwanda uko bimeze
aho ariko nibyo hariya abantu bareba ambiance hari nibyo
Beni natabahari
Beni ifasha rwose ariko nibyo Edidia amapiano yawe nawe ugenda uyazamura gake
gake ka Joseline wapi Tadej Pogacar
agenda rwose akora amateka
kwitwa Tadej Pogacar shampiyona y'isi yegukana shampiyona y'isi akaba ari ku nshuro ya kabiri abikoze byikurikiranya yegukanye 2024 yongera asubiramo mu mwaka wa 2025 bamukomera amashyi y'abavandimwe babo bakinana mu ikipe imwe abo batangiranye 9 bose bamukomera amashyi
hariya kuri Convention Center na ambiance n'ibindi bindi
Tadej Pogacar mbere ko shampiyona y'isi ya 2025 itangira ngaho i Kigali ku munsi wo ku cyumweru nagize isabukuru barayimufete rero kuva icyo gihe yari yushuje imyaka myinshi cyane kuko uwitwa Tadej Pogacar yavutse tariki 21 z'ukwezi kwa 1998
ariko n'uwitwara mako urabona ko aracyari kugerageza avuga ati ngabanye byibuza atajya mu munota cyangwa atajyamo urabona ko aracyari kupigana aracyari
kuvuga ngo Ivan Power umubirigi nawe ubona ko
nako
atari yagize
umunota amaze kurenga
Tadej Pogacar uzwi ku izina rya Pogi yavutse tariki 21 z'ukwezi kwa 1998
ego
avukira mu gihugu cya Slovania akaba kandi akiri ikipe ya UAE Team Pro Cycling Team Emirates akaba yaragiye gukana Tour de France zitandukanye yegukanye Tour de France 2020 yegukana Tour de France 2021 yegukana Tour de France 2024 ndetse akaba yegukanye na Tour de France 2025 kuko ejo bundi baza niwe wayegukanye bamwita Tadej Pogacar
ikintu Tadej Pogacar akoze kinakomeye cyane asize mugenzi we Ramako wari umukurikiye umunota umwe n'amasegonda 30 n'ubundi nkuko nabivugaga bira bice byerekera hariya kuri convention ibice bitambika cyane araza gusiga uyu muvandimwe bitaramako rero nakabigenje cyane aramusize aramwanikiriye muri ibice byo kuzamuka ubwo rero bivuze ngo na amateka yongeye gukora nkuko nabivugaga kare nabivugaga ko uyu muvandimwe ageze bita Tadej n'ugukora amateka n'ukwandika amateka akaba yasigara abana cyaba abakunda igare bakabasigara bagira gute bagenda bayasoma
ababyeyi bose bari mu bitaro bikuru by'uturere dutandukanye anga mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda bari mu bitaro byigenga bose abagiye kubyara uyu munsi ndemeza ko abana babo bazabita amazina bakongera akantu Pogi Tadej Tadej icyo cyo niko nzayibona yegukanye rero shampiyona y'isi ya kabiri yikurikirana akaba yegukanye Tour de France 2020 2021 2024 bamwita Tadej Pogacar akaba kandi yegukanye n'ibindi bihembo bitandukanye aho yegukanye inshuro 3 zikurikirana Giro de la Lombardia inshuro 4 zikurikirana inshuro 3 yegukana yitwa Liège-Bastogne Liège akaba kandi uyu mukinnyi azwiho cyane gusigana ahatambika bamwita Tadej Pogacar tugaruka muri highlight ngira ngo muramubona barimo bagenda mu Felix amubwira ngo
no kugira ngo bizashoboka kugira ngo n'ukuntu iyi etape itamugoye cyane ubonye ukuntu avuye ku igare ubundi wajya guhona ko abenshi basoza usanga rwose bigoranye cyane
Ivan Power ntabwo ari kubyumva arimo arakomeye mu Birigi
ariko yakoze cyane igare ryagezeho riramutenguha agera aho rivaho yongera kuba yakisanga imbere ubwo rero navuga ngo nategure indi shampiyona y'ubutaha biracyashoboka cyane ko aracyari umwana kuri uyu muvandimwe hari genda yishyiramo agafanta urabimubonye witwa Tadej Pogacar agenda yongera kwereka isi ko ariwe mukinnyi wa mbere ku isi akora amateka.
Pogacar akaba ariwe UCI World Championship 2025 akaba ariwe wegukanye igihembo cyangwa se wegukanye umwanya wa mbere kuva ubu agiye kuba shampiyona cyangwa se agiye kuba uwa mbere umukinnyi wa mbere ku isi nyuma yo kwambura umwenda bagenzi be. Ikindi nakubwira nuko urebye iyi ndeshyo ye afite metero imwe na santimetero 76 akaba afite ibiro 66 n'amagarama 149 akaba akinira ekipe ya UAE Team Emirates. Uyu Tadej Pogacar kandi akari mwiza cyane mu bijyanye na road race cyane kubera ko ariho akunze kubonera amanota ngira ngo mwarabibonye no muri individual time trial aho yabaye uwa gatatu ariko ubu ngubu yegukanye iki igihembo yakiriye amakipe atandukanye kuva mwaka wa 2019 yari muri ekipe ya UAE Emirates. Ubu ngubu rero nandi makipe agiye acamo akiri umwana uyu mukinnyi ukomoka mu gihugu cya Slovania yanyuze muri ekipe yitwa Logi Ljubljana akaba ari ekipe no yakuriyemo ndetse inamuha platform yo kugera ahangaha. Yegukanye kandi ibikombe nkuko nagiye mubwira bya Tour de France bitandukanye aho yegukanye 2020 2021 2024 na 2025 yegukana kandi mountain classification zikomeye muri Tour de France mu mwaka wa 2020 2021 2025 muba akiri muto yegukanye ibihembo bitandukanye muri Tour de France aho yegukanye igihembo cya 2020 2023 ndetse yegukana n'igihembo cy'abatangeje imyaka 21 mu mwaka wa 2020 na 2025 ngo reta Tadej Pogacar ari kwakirwa aho yarageze n'undi kuri finishing line. Giro d'Italia yegukanye classification
byashoboka akaba yarazanye n'umutambukanyi we
n'ubundi ari muri ekipe
ariko
ari muri ekipe umukunzi
ni ibirori cyane uwo muryango w'abatwara igare uri kumva bimeze bite biba biryoshye cyane ubwo ahubwo nkibaza umwana we bizaba bimeze bite
uwitwaye more ntago ari kubyumva nyuma yo gutakaza
uwitwa Ben niwe yararyamyeho cyane yarari kumbwira ati uyu muhungu rwose aratanga icyizere
ku mubiri ntabwo yaminiye
nyamara aragerageza Didi nubwo uri kuba ntiyaminiye ariko aragerageza mu by'ukuri
Ben yararyamye kwitwa
inde
harya ni Benjamin w'umwongereza utagije imyaka 19
naramubonye cyane
baramutsibuye kuri ngiro diresi yari kumwe n'abanyarwanda
yari muri cya gikundi cy'abanyarwanda turabiza ahantu cyawa gakiri ubwo mise numvamo rwo n'abantu badukurikiye bari kubyumva cyane.
Rero uwitwa Tadej Pogacar akaba ari wegukanye shampiyona y'isi y'amagare ubwo ngira ngo ni ibingibi muri rusange hanyuma nova cyo twagenda tugana ku musozo kugira ngo tureke n'ibindi biganiro bikomeze bigende bitambuka muri rusange. Dushimira abantu bose twabanye muri shampiyona y'isi y'amagare kuva tariki 21 kugeza uyu munsi tariki 28. Dushimira abanyarwanda muri rusange badukurikiye haba kuri PACIS TV ndetse na Shine Up TV. Dushimire kandi n'abanyarwanda bose bagize uruhare mu gitegurwa rya shampiyona y'isi y'amagare by'umwihariko abashinzwe umutekano cyangwa se inzego zitandukanye z'umutekano hanga mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda. Dushimire abapolisi, dushimire abasirikare, dushimire n'aba volontaire cyangwa se youth volunteers bari ku mihanda kugira ngo bafashe abanyarwanda mu kugira ngo barebe neza shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Dushimira kandi n'abanyarwanda bose bitabire ku mihanda itandukanye n'abantu bose bari hariya kuri Kigali Convention Center aho basorezaga abari bari muri BK Arena aho amagare yatangiraga mu buryo bwa individual time trial. Mwese turabashimiye cyane, mukomeze mugire ibihe byiza. Nova tugana ku musozo shampiyona y'isi y'amagare igusigiye iki?
Mu by'ukuri insigiye ikintu gikomeye cyane cyuko u Rwanda ubaho tugeze umujyo wacu cya urwego tugezeho so kwakira neza gusa ahubwo ni ikintu cyari cyo cyose ubaka kanya ngiye ku giti cyanjye icyo iyi shampiyona y'isi nsigiye nuko icyo cyo cyose twacyakira. Ejo mundi hari umuma twaganire arambwira ngo mu by'ukuri bitewe n'ukuntu twakire neza iyi shampiyona y'isi icyo ngicyo cyagatumye na FIFA bagira gute baduhereza iyi shampiyona, baduhereza igikombe cy'isi, cyane ko ikijyanye no kwakira icyo turakibasha. Ariko ikindi n'ibyishimo byinshi cyane, kuko mu by'ukuri Edidia najyaga numva, najyaga ndeba uyu muvandimwe bita uyu muchampion bita Tadej Pogacar. Urabizi ko n'ubundi mu by'ukuri nge mu busanzwe nkunda amagare, nkumva mu by'ukuri bitazashoboka ko mubona, cyane ko kuba wabona itiki kwerekeza mu Fransa byashoboka ariko byagorana. Nkumva ni amateka ko mu by'ukuri ntabwo natekerezaga ko iyi shampiyona y'isi izaza hano mu Rwanda. Ubwo rero ikintu tugiye inanansigiye kuba nabona aba bastar, ikindi gikomeye aba bashampiyoni, ikindi kinakomeye cyane ni ibyishimo byinshi cyane mu by'ukuri ku bantu barebye shampiyona y'isi, barishimye cyane. Wabonye ko witwa champion w'isi w'aka kanya, wabonye ko yavuze ko mu by'ukuri akurikije, ubwo ndavuga Tadej Pogacar, wabonye ko yavuze ko akurikije iyi shampiyona y'isi niyo ubutaha yari yakiniye muri Australia, yavuze ko mu by'ukuri iyi shampiyona y'isi ubwiza bwayo n'uburyohe bwayo ngo biyikubye inshuro zigeze kuri 10. Ubwo rero byari byiza, byari ibyishimo gusa, byari n'ibirori.
Yes, baracyaza rero, bamwe barimo bagenda bagera kuri finishing line, bari basizwe muri rusange. Reka rero Nova munyemerere dusoreza hanga, gusa abanyarwanda tukomeze tubereke ibihembo uko bigiye kugenda.
Ariko Edidi, tunasoza reka tubanze dushimiremo gakenya gake bari abafatanyabikorwa bose twabanye. Urabizi tere ya hano kuri Beka Arena, mu by'ukuri ubwo ni ku cyumweru, yo bitaba
Krasoma uko imeze, uwitwa Tadej ni uwa mbere, yakurikiye na Remorque Evan Powe, akurikirwa kandi na Ben Hillard wo mu gihugu cya Irlandi. Uwa kane ni umukinnyi witwa Martisia Skerkomos akomoka mu gihugu cya Denmark. Uwa gatanu bamwita Toms, akaba aturuka muri Latvia. Hanyuma abandi yagera
ku Mexico. Dore abantu bari kwibaza ngo Munyamexico
Isaac Vitor Romeo yabaye wa munani. Umwe wari uri gusiganwa cyangwa wari uri wafashije cyane mo Tadej Pogacar kugira ngo abashe kuba yasiga abandi, ko mu by'ukuri buriya yo abakinnyi bagendanye ari babiri, mu by'ukuri hari ukuntu bazamuranamo kamuraro. Ubwo rero Edide narindi kuvuga ngo dushimire cyane abafatanyabikorwa twari turi kumwe. Urabizi ko iyi shampiyona yakinwe turi mu zuba ryinshi cyane. Ubwo rero dushimire cyane Sina Gerard waduherezaga akabanga ndetse n'ibyo kunywa bimeze neza cyane muri iri zuba. Nge mu by'ukuri sinigeze ndyumva, urabona ko itoto ni itoto, murabibona ka kandi niko kari kabiri inyuma kugira ngo iri zuba ntaryumva ko mu by'ukuri kandi
ndetse n'akarabo n'ibindi byadufashije kugira ngo iyi shampiyona y'isi tubashe kwikora tumeze neza. Ikindi imyuka ari yose. Ikindi nshimire Matera Rwanda Fomo, murabizi ko njya mbivuga kenshi na kenshi ko imatera ndyamaho baka kanya ari matera bita Fraha banafragiye. Ubwo rero nayo nshimire na Rwanda Fomo cyane, twagiye tubana kugira ngo rwose mbyukane itoto, mbyukane
abanyarwanda rero bameze neza cyane muri
mbyukane imbaraga. Ariko nanashimira cyane kuko mu by'ukuri Edidia urabibona ko nk'uwitwa Ramako yagezeho ava mu kibuga cyava mu muhanda arongera aragaruka. Kibira nta kindi cyabigufasha uretse kuba bararyamye neza. Tunashimire cyane Rwanda Fomo yahaye bano batwazi b'amagare cyangwa bano bakinnyi b'amagare matera kugira ngo babye babyukana imbaraga n'iki bajye babyukana imbaraga babe bameze neza. Dushimire cyane ikigo rwose cyahari Nyamirambo. Ubwo rwose nabo tubashimire cyane Saint Joseph rwose ari Nyamirambo hafi no mu rugo, nabo tubashimire cyane, nabo twari turi kumwe. Ubwo rero nibyo ngibyo navuga. Ibindi ibirori byo nanjye ngiye kwa ngenda bikomereza hariya kuri convention. Wabibonye ko
ariko mbere ko tugenda abantu bamenye ko nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika y'u Rwanda Paul Kagame ari we ugiye kuba atanga ibihembo kuri uyu mukinnyi Tadej Pogacar witwaye neza, ndetse n'ibindi bihembo muri rusange. Akari kumwe n'abayobozi mu nzego zitandukanye barimo kandi na David Lapartier, akaba ari perezida w'impuzamashyirahamwe y'umukino wo gusiganwa ku magare UCI. Akaba rero nawe bari kumwe, ngira ngo uramubona uyu muzungu begeranye nawe rwose harari bagiye kuba bafatanya, ndetse n'abandi bayobozi mu nzego zitandukanye, Minisitiri wa Sport mu Rwanda rwanda hagomba kuba hari kandi harimo n'abayobozi mu bigo bitandukanye bya leta birimo nka RDB ndetse n'ibindi bigo byose bitandukanye byagize uruhare mu gutegura shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Twizere ko abanyarwanda mu by'ukuri baryohewe ni shampiyona y'isi y'amagare.
Oya, byari ibirori ikindi Edidia tunashimire cyane ubuyobozi bwa PACIS TV bwatekereje bukavuga ngo tugombe tugeze abanyarwanda ko iyi shampiyona y'isi, kuko mu by'ukuri bwarahabaye cyane guhera dutangira kugera dusoje, nabo tubashimire cyane
rwose. Turabashimiye aho bari rwose, kandi turizera ko n'ibindi bikorwa bitandukanye tuba duhari 5 kuri 5 kugira ngo tubibagezeho
kugira ngo rwose abanyarwanda bagende binjoyinga cyane shampiyona.
Nyemera dusoreza ahangaha dushimire equipe technique ngari yadufashe kugira ngo rwose tubagezeho 5 kuri 5 uyu musozo wa shampiyona y'isi y'amagare. Dushimire Benjamin kuri kamera, dushimire kandi na Pacifique, bombi bakabaturuka mu gace kamwe ahangaha i Remera.
Kandi nkavuge
nta kibazo.
Oya, sinshaka gushwana na Benjamin. Icyo ntago namukira.
Dushimire aba basore b'inyagatovu, tubashimire rwose ko bavuze kandi kugira ngo rwose gahunda zose zigende neza 5 kuri 5. Banyarwandakazi rero mwese turabashimiye twabanye muri UCI 2025. Nizere ko ibihe byari byiza cyane. Tuzasubire mu bindi biganiro bitandukanye. Ku munsi w'ejo hari ikiganiro Spotline, tuzagaruka dukora recap y'ibyaranze shampiyona y'isi y'amagare, by'umwihariko mu kiganiro Spotline, ariko no kuri PACIS TV kuva ku isaha y'isa 7 kugera ku isaha y'isa 8 ndani tuzatimo turagana mu kiganiro Spotline, turebera hamwe Tadej Pokagani ninde, ese iyi shampiyona y'isi isigiye iki gihugu cy'u Rwanda. Byose tuzabihuriza hamwe tubibahe muri icyo kiganiro Spotland kuva ku isaha y'isa 7 kuri chaîne 349 kuri Canal Plus, chaîne 106 kuri Free to Air na YouTube channel PACIS TV Catholic Church Rwanda. See you. Nova wakoze cyane.
Nawe wakoze cyane Didia.
Ntacyo utakoze.
Oya, waraha nawe twari turi kumwe cyane.
Ubwo rero
twari turi kumwe cyane.
Abantu bakomeza bagira ibihe byiza. Gahunda n'ibiganiro bya PACIS TV na Channel TV birakomeze. Mukomeze mugire umusozo mwiza w'icyumweru. Imana ibarinde.
From 100 kilometres out, it left some bruises out there, not least, of course, with Remco Evenepoel. Del Toro played his part. Ayuso got shaken out. Ultimately, the same fate awaited everybody as Tadej Pogačar went on to take the title.
Today, world champion again, but you wanted to do it even better than last year in Zurich, taking off with 105 kilometers to go. Spectacular.
I think the parcours was designed for this, but I was hoping that a small group would form like we did with Juan and Del Toro. Perfect combo. I was like, okay, this is like dreams, no, to ride together as far as possible as a trio, but Juan had a problem quite soon on the on the cobbles, and Del Toro had some stomach problems, I think, after the race. I mean, in the race, so I was left alone quite early, and was all over like like last year, just fighting with myself. But I'm so happy I made it.
Were there moments where you doubted?
Well, for sure, yeah, because the climbs were getting harder and harder every lap. Yeah, and also on the downhills was not so fast. You still had to like pedal quite a lot. So yeah, the energy resources was going towards the end, and yeah, it was so hard. The few final laps, and of course you doubt a bit, but you have to push through and hope for the best.
To do it here in Africa, to do it on this course, under 30 riders finished, makes it even more special.
Yeah, no, it was incredible experience altogether, and yeah, let's say it was a successful week.
Enjoy the podium.
Piquet asking the questions of a great man and a great champion, Tadej Pogačar. We now wait for him to receive the gold medal, share the podium, of course, as he will with Remco Evenepoel, who I am certain must have cheered up having realised just what he's achieved in these championships. Well, time trial champion, runner-up to Tadej Pogačar here at the Roads. The most successful rider, I guess you might say, of indeed these championships is Remco Evenepoel. A gold and a silver to his name, something that can't be matched by Tadej Pogačar, but Tadej has, of course, taken the big one, the elite road race, and he will wear the bands with pride for the remainder, and indeed the rest of next season, and possibly beyond. Who on earth is ever going to unseat him? Remco gave it a good go. Ben Healy with a bronze medal. And we're going to meet them again in just a few moments' time. Wait for the trumpets.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the award ceremony of the 2025 UCI Road World Championships in Kigali. Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue à la cérémonie protocolaire des championnats du monde route UCI 2025 à Kigali.
Ikaze kuri mwese muteraniye hano, tubaye ikaze mwese mudukurikiye, ikaze mu biro byo gutanga ibihembo ku bakinnyi bitwaye neza muri shampiyona y'isi y'amagare mu 2025 UCI Road World Championship iri gukinirwa aha ngaha i Kigali.
That is absolutely astounding.
Award ceremony of the 2025
What a welcome.
UCI Road World Championships Men Elite Road Race. Cérémonie protocolaire des championnats du monde route UCI 2025, course en ligne homme élite.
hagiye guhembwa abatsinze muri shampiyona y'isi y'amagare mu 2025 mu bagabo Men Elite Road Race.
The bronze medal will be presented by Monsieur David Lapartien, UCI President. La médaille de bronze sera remise par Monsieur David Lapartien, président de l'UCI.
Umudari wa bronze ugiye gutangwa na president wa UCI Bwana David Lapartien.
In third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing Ireland. À la troisième place et vainqueur de la médaille de bronze, représentant l'Irlande.
Umudari wa bronze ugiye kwegukanwa n'umukinnyi ukinira Ireland,
Ben Healy.
It's a rock star atmosphere here, and Ben Healy is part of it. He's taken a bronze medal for Ireland. That is magnificent.
The silver medal will be presented by His Serene Highness, Prince Albert II of Monaco. La médaille d'argent sera remise par Son Altesse Sérénissime, le Prince Albert II de Monaco.
Umwanya wa kabiri n'umudari wa feza biratangwa na n'igikomangoma Albert wa kabiri wa Monaco.
In second place and winner of the silver medal, representing Belgium. À la deuxième place et vainqueur de la médaille d'argent, en représentant la Belgique.
Ku mwanya wa kabiri n'umudari wa feza yegukanywe n'umukinnyi ukinira Ububirigi,
Remco Evenepoel.
He is, of course, also a champion, having won the time trial. And I think he will contemplate this ultimately and realise what an achievement it is. No shame in runners-up, especially the manner of which he took silver. That was an amazing ride.
The rainbow jersey and gold medal will be presented by His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, and Monsieur David Lapartien, UCI President. Le meilleur arc-en-ciel et la médaille d'or seront remises par Monsieur Son Excellence Paul Kagame, Président de la République du Rwanda, et de David Lapartien, Président de l'UCI.
Umwambaro w'uwatsinze n'umudari wa zahabu biratangwa na nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika y'u Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, na Perezida wa UCI Bwana David Lapartien.
In first place, UCI World Champion and winner of the gold medal, representing Slovenia. À la première place, champion du monde UCI et gagnant de la médaille d'or, représentant la Slovénie.
Shampiyona y'isi yo gusiganwa ku magare n'umudari wa zahabu yegukanywe n'umukinnyi ukinira Slovenia,
Tadej Pogačar.
What an amazing champion, and what an amazing atmosphere as well. It's almost hard to quantify just what a brilliant scenario has been created here. And what a great way to win it as well. Tadej Pogačar, heroic status here to so many in this amazing day after an amazing week of racing at these World Championships here in Rwanda.
The Tissot watch will be presented by Monsieur David Lapartien, UCI President. La montre Tissot sera présentée par Monsieur David Lapartien, président de l'UCI.
Impano y'isaha ikorwa n'uruganda Tissot igiye gutangwa na Bwana David Lapartien, akaba ari umukuru wa UCI.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our new UCI World Champion, we present the national anthem of Slovenia. Mesdames et messieurs, en l'honneur de notre nouveau champion du monde, UCI, nous vous présentons l'hymne national de la Slovénie.
Mudufasha nawe gushimira uwegukanye shampiyona y'isi y'amagare mu gukomeza kumuha icyubahiro, twese duhaguruke mu gihe yaririmbwa indirimbo yubahiriza igihugu cye cya Slovenia.
gentlemen, please one more time your applause for our medalists. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez applaudir une dernière fois nos médaillés.
Murakoze cyane, twongere dushimira abegukanye imidari muri irushanwa mu byiciro bitandukanye aribo
gold medalist and world champion Tadej Pogacar, silver medalist and médaillé d'argent Remco Evenepoel, and bronze medalist and médaillé bronze Ben Healy.
Brian, have you ever experienced an atmosphere like it? It's like a rock concert, for goodness sake.
Oh, these are rock stars, so yes, maybe not in cycling, but certainly at a rock concert. But yeah, look, everybody's deserved their medal today. I know there might be some disappointment, especially from Remco, but I think when he looks back at it, he'll be happy.
I am certain of it. We most certainly are. Well, we'll be hearing from Tadej Pogacar as he is interviewed as world champion in just a few moments' time. He's surely going to have to bite the medal again. No gold teeth, but plenty of gold medals, and indeed our appreciation as well.
Yes, mu kanya gato tugiye kwakira DJ Ira, nibutsa ko dufite Bwiza ndetse na Chris Easy.
Well, we've got a DJ coming on called Chris Busy. I can't wait to hear the Wheels of Steel once they get engaged. Meanwhile, the protocols and the interviews and the congratulations roll on for this amazing man.
Similar.
But well done.
Thank you. See you soon.
Can we just do that?
See you soon.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's nearly time for us to fly home. Thanks to you at home as well for joining us. If you've been here from the start today, give yourself your own medal. That is quite an achievement. A very, very long day, but extremely enjoyable. And indeed, for this man, extraordinarily profitable as well.
Thank you, good man.
Ao toque do pareu.
Take my watch and my gorilla. Let's hear from the world champion, shall we? Good day at the office. 6 hours, 21 minutes and 20 seconds was all it took him to complete the task today. Plus the bit on the bike at the beginning of the day, of course, and the sign-on, but you get the idea. 267.5 kilometres completed in that time.
Today, world champion for the second consecutive year. There was no way you were going to give up that jersey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a privilege now that I don't need to change my whole closet again. And yeah, I was chasing this the whole year again because I mean, especially after the tour with the rest, with some just it was big goal, and I'm so happy to retain this beautiful jersey.
How special is it to do it here in Rwanda, here in Africa?
Yeah, it's quite special. It's been a long trip to here. It's been an amazing last few days, and yeah, just incredible experience. So in overall, and I'm yeah, super happy and so proud of this week.
You knew you were going to attack at the top of Mount Kigali. That was the plan.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know our plan was not like this, but and all the experienced guys in the team told me not to go, but yeah, I was feeling really good, and I was especially on the top when I saw Juan is following, Del Toro is close. I was like, then I knew it's a good move to go with these two big engines and try to go as long as possible together. But yeah, I did not plan to go alone again so far.
You enter history even more. Now the goal is to carry on making history and to win in Montreal, a place that you know very well.
Yeah, I think next year is going to be really, again, one incredible experience in my opinion. Really looking forward for that one. And yeah, let's first enjoy another year in Rainbow, and we'll see next year.
Bon voyage, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
And we add congratulations as well. Well, what an amazing week of racing. Every single one of the world champions, and indeed all of the medalists, deserve our appreciation. And we'd like to say thank you as well to those of you who have been listening to both myself, Carlton Kirby, and of course to Brian Smith throughout these entire championships. Brian, enjoyed it?
Absolutely brilliant.
It's been a privilege, hasn't it, to see so many amazing races in your good company at home. So thank you for sharing the ride, and I sincerely hope that we can indeed come together again in the near future and enjoy yet more of this amazing sport that we love so much. We'll bid you a fond farewell. For now, though, from Kigali and from Rwanda, stay safe. We shall see you next time as this amazing sport continues to spread throughout this beautiful planet of ours, made, of course, distilled into magnificence here in Rwanda.
Voilà, merci beaucoup, Président. Oui, le feutre et le couleur de seigle. Voilà. Hein? Ah, voilà la mascotte de Montréal. Oui. Tu prends la 17